Hello, folks. You are joining me, Beej, on a bonus stream here on the Loading Ready Run Hyper Ultra Mega Network. We're doing Beej's Anime Roundup today. I hope I have my microphone positioned properly. Let's just move it a little more over here. I can get nice and close to the camera, in fact, because we're going to just jump into talk. Well, okay, we're not going to just jump into talking. I need to say hello and thank you all for being here. For what we do every quarter is where I review what just happened and then talk about the next quarter. People are finding me quiet. The microphone is literally maxed out. I could get up real tight on it, but I don't think I want to be doing that. Oh, the mic's cutting in and out. That's surprising. Hey, let's do some live troubleshooting. Is it any better? Is it any better when I play with the microphone like this? Does it cut in and out? No, it's probably just when I back off of it, it starts to cut in and out. Okay, hang on a second. Hey, folks, is this any better? I assume this will be a lot better. We're just going to use the other microphone instead, and that's fine. And I'll let... it's funny because it was doing that when Heather and I were doing our bonus stream last week, earlier this week, whenever we were doing our bonus stream, my mic was on all the time, but when she was talking into hers, yeah, I could hear her cutting out, like coming in and coming out and coming in and coming out. And if she got up on the mic, then everything was like fine. So I wonder if there's something about the sensitivity or gain of the other microphone that's causing a problem. I'll have to remember to make a note of that, and I'll do that. Thank you for joining me on the bonus stream tonight, where we talk about the most recent quarter of anime shows, and then we'll do a preview of the next one. And I wanted to let everybody know that this stream, of course, is brought to you by you, thanks to the Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And I'm going to take these headphones off because I don't need them now that I know that everything sounds good. You can also back us here on Twitch like you are doing. And you can also put it on, put your money down on the YouTubes, becoming a YouTube member for the channel, any channel basically that is Loading Ready Run's channels. We have several of them. And also the store.loadingreadyrun.com is a great place to go to get store.loadingreadyrun.com merchandise. I just realized that we don't actually have merchandise about the store itself, and I wonder if that would be a meta win or not. Just like a big scarf that just says store.loadingreadyrun.com. Really cheap, terrible scarf too. Just something that's not worth it, that no one should buy. I like it. All right. Rules about how this works. I'm gonna go through I'm gonna go through anychart.net, anichart.net. You can follow along. The list I'm doing is going to be in alphabetical order by title. We're doing summer 2025. If you are finding, if I'm scrolling past stuff that you watched, don't take it personally because I didn't watch it, or I don't have anything that I really want to say about it. And then there might be stuff that I stop on that you didn't watch, but you're going to hear me talk about it. Also, that means that if you want to tell me in chat that you like to thing, that's okay. That doesn't necessarily tell me that, like, it's not going to be like, oh, I'll go back and watch that thing. Or maybe I might. I'm not really sure if I will. Sometimes people have suggested stuff. Says, no, it's really, really good. No, it's really, really, really good. No, it's really, 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 really good. And then I go watch it and I'm like, yeah, but it still lost me. And that's fine. We all have different tastes. And to that end, I would say that if you have different tastes than me, then that's cool. You know what you're getting, I guess, when you hear me talk about stuff. We're all just going to be cool here with each other, right? That the whole point is it's a safe space to be. Obviously, with anime, sometimes comes smut as well. And my rule about smut is that smut is fine. I'm a fan of smut. I don't watch a ton of smut. I don't know if I watch a ton of smut now that I think about it. We'll find out as I go through it. But it is completely cool to be into stuff that is 18 plus. As long as you're not like forcing that on anybody else, like having to make anybody else a part of your watching the smut thing. I guess unless that's a consensual thing that you're doing, you have your own conversations about with people around you to do whatever. It's just I'm not going to tell you you should be watching it, and I don't think you should be telling me to be watching it. And we're all going to have our own tastes, and that's how that's going to be. I believe that's pretty much the PSA for how it stands. Let's change to the screen. Ugh, there we go. Looks way better for me now. I'm going to put a little bit of Vaseline on my lips because they are dry, like the rest of my face, and select parts of my body. I've noticed that whenever we go through a seasonal change, that occasionally for a period of time, as the weather changes, my skin now has started to react to the change, and it's not ideal, but that's how things are. Phototherapy might help that. We're going to see. I've already started doing that for a while. Anyway, I go stand in a big booth for 52 seconds, and I get bombarded by invisible rays. It's great. I have to wear goggles. It's very quantum leap. Let's talk about summer 2025, 99 Shihaisha no Okan. I didn't watch this. We're off to a great start. Ame to Kimi to, or With You and the Rain. I did watch this. This was a lot of fun. It is so gentle. Like, it is a feather. It is being like wiped by, not even, it's not even a tickle. It's just like you have this feather that's kind of rubbing down your face or whatever. It's it's just super nice and very chill, and it's funny, but it's really, really gentle. And the opening and endings are both fantastic as well. Like, every time we watched it, I would just always turn up the volume on the opening and just kind of sit and jam out to the, fun little, like, very Euro jazz, French feeling kind of opening thing. I really liked it. And just very gentle, really nice. And sets up the show to be good as well. And it kind of struck me as like, oh, is this going to be like this woman's very into fashion, like that kind of thing? Because I don't remember that from the few chapters I read of the manga. I'm like, is that what we're trying to actually set up, that she's also into this on the side? It's like, no, that doesn't even come up. It's just that she, like most people, wears many clothes. So I think watch it. I think if you're good with, like, I just want to sit and chill out and have something I can fall asleep to, this fits the bill. And it's just fun. It's just kind of nice, light, very light fun. If they made more of it, that would be cool. If they didn't make more of it, that's also cool too, because everything's okay. Moving on, Arknights Enshin Shomei. Did not watch that. Binan Koko Chikyu Boebu Haikara. We did not watch this, I think because we were just... Heather and I did watch the first series of this. And if it did come out, I didn't add it, and I wasn't that into wanting to watch it again, because I'm like, if it's a new series, it's just retreading ground, or it's doing whatever. I'm like, I kind of don't care. Like, it was fun to begin with, and I'm like, I don't need to go back and watch it retreaded or watch whatever happened. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Busamen Gachi Fighter. I did not watch this either. Busu ni Hanataba wo. I did not watch this one either. Card Fight Vanguard, Divinez Deluxe Keshohen. Didn't watch that. City the Animation. Well, of course I watched City the Animation. It was one of the things I was the most excited for, though weirdly, very hard to get into. It's odd. What an odd feeling. I watched the first episode and I was like, can I... It's dense, like, because visually it's dense, which is lovely. And I feel like I'm glad KyoAni got it back, because they also did Araoi's other series, Nichijou, which could stand to have more of that done too. I feel like I feel like they did City because they were like, we want to do more Nichijou. We're not going to let you do more Nichijou. Oh, can we do this instead? Is that by the same guy? Yes. Okay, well, it's new, so we'll see how it does. I feel like I haven't watched the 13th episode yet. I feel like this is just like it's really good. It's really silly, um, and the fact is that more like rather than just it's not just always we're gonna have like short vignettes that are like maybe 8 minutes long or 3 minutes long or whatever, like kind of piled together. There are a couple episodes where they are longer in scope, and I like that too. And I think that's what really works well for this series is that they change it up a little bit as things are going on, and you know nothing is so there's nothing that's going to be like depressing happening, and it's just kind of light, upbeat, and fun and dumb, and that's kind of the best part of it. It's not going to be nonstop action. It's not going to be like that feeling kind of thing. You should go into this feeling like this is like Nichijou, but the colors are way more saturated, and the designs are like rounder and softer and a little messier, and it just feels lovely and good. It feels like a really extroverted show. And that might be hard to deal with if you're more of an introvert because you're like, that's a lot of energy that I have to deal with. And yeah, it's a lot of energy in City, but I really liked it. If you find you're bouncing off the first episode or whatever, I mean, find time to kind of make. Somebody in here said they're only through halfway through episode one. Watch it the first episode in chunks. Maybe watch the second episode in chunks and kind of feel like through that, and then all of a sudden maybe you'll start to feel like, oh, I like this and I want to watch this. But this was never my first click. When something was showing up, it was never like I want to watch this. And I know that's because I've read so much of the manga. Even though there's like hundreds of chapters, it's just like I just like there's no way to remember everything that was happening, but it was just like fun. Like there was stuff that was going up that I'm like, I don't remember reading about this story at all. So yeah. Anyway, it was really, really good. Clevetesse, Maju no O to Akago to Kabane no Yusha. No, didn't watch that. Dandadan second season. I did not watch any Dandadan. Deki no Mogura. Right. No. That's right. I did not watch this. I was like, why do I have it as a thing? I did not watch it. So I guess maybe it never showed up in my feeds. I have no idea. Dr. Stone Science Future. I talked about how I gave up on Dr. Stone. Fermat no Ryori. Didn't watch that. Food Court de Mata Ashita. I like this. Also, it was a weird feeling watching this because going to Japan back in April and spending time in malls and going to food courts there, at least a couple, 3 times, I think we had ended up doing that. And just the feeling of, like, when we were in Okinawa and we went to the Aeon Mall, the food court was like 2 levels, and it was really, really big. So all of the places to eat were all along the outside, and there was lots of places to eat in the middle. And then you go up like another floor, and then there's more of that kind of thing. But all of the restaurant, like kind of like the places to line up, and didn't seem to be anything that felt like it was just like a 2 wide. Things seemed to be at least like a 3 wide. If you're kind of like thinking about units of space, everything seemed to be about a 3 wide at the minimum, and then some would get larger and larger. Which I think is why you'd have to do it with 2 floors, but also because the sheer population means that you're going to have space for a lot of people to come in and sit down and eat. And so the kind of airiness of that style of food court versus when I go to a food court here, the closest thing we have to that at Hillside Mall. Hillside Mall did a whole revamp of their area, and their food court has much higher ceilings now and is a lot more spread out and feels a lot airier as a result. They didn't try to pack like restaurants into like all over the place. And that kind of feel, the like big windows and lots of light coming in. Aberdeen Mall. Is it Aberdeen Mall? What's the name of that mall in Richmond? It's the Chinese expat shopping mall. They have a really big food court feeling place as well, with like very high ceilings and big windows on the side and whatnot. And I'm saying that the sense of space really like felt more familiar to me when I was watching this, because this show, there's only like 6 or 7 episodes. It's so just chill. because it's just two people who made friends with each other, and now they go to separate high schools and they get together and they talk. They have very different personalities, and they have personalities that don't feel. I don't want to say compatible. They have personalities that don't feel like that fit even their look so much is what you would expect from them. So even there, it's like we're changing things up a lot. Um, so it's it was like getting to see this just conversations, much like what I'm talking about, City being like a very extroverted kind of anime, and like it's like big and saturated and like lots of stuff going on, whatever. And this is not. This kind of is in a mid space between like the freneticism of what City is like, and With You in the Rain being very laid back. And like, and this occupies like a middle position to be like, it's two girls getting together to just talk about random stuff, to talk about what's going on in their lives and how school is going, or what's, like boys, I think at one point came up. It wasn't like every episode, obviously. It's just kind of like that. But it's also like, hey, what would you do if, just a way to have a conversation before one of them has to go home and one of them has to go to work. And because working part time. And it's nice. Like it's pretty relaxed, but it's also, it's an upbeat kind of relaxed. It feels like how it would go if you were hanging out with a few friends that you get along with really well. Just like a really small, really tight group, just like two or three of you sitting together and having a conversation, just kind of having like, oh, it's like a relaxing time to sit and just do a thing. Also, what's fun is there's so many brand names because this takes place at an Eon Mall. I mean, Eon malls are kind of like the only, practically the only mall. No, that's not right. Parco is one, and Daimaru is another. But this takes place at the Eon Mall. There's a Village Vanguard right next to the food court. The food court has like a KFC and a Baskin Robbins. So like they show up with that kind of food from time to time, and plus also from like the more local stuff. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I hope that they decide to make more of it. I don't know if they will, but yeah, 6 episodes, and I was just like, oh, that's too bad. It would be nice if they would do more of this. If they don't, that's okay. The opening is fun because it's the two of them. Clearly, like they're dancing, but you can tell as like they're dancing and doing whatever in like different locations. You're like, oh wait, they're doing TikTok dances. That's what this is. And then you get to the end of the opening and you realize that they've been recording themselves trying to do the TikTok dances and stuff together, and then they're watching themselves do them on their phone. And it's not even clear to me that they're going to share these. It's just like they just did them to be part of the trend, and then they keep them for themselves, which I was like, that's super sweet. Is this a Yuri? It is not. Or maybe it is. I remember reading when I was in reading translations of this, I could have sworn that there was like a Yuri tag on it, but I don't know if it is. I think it's just two girls' friendship, and I think that's fine. I'm not really sure. I really liked it. Moving on. Futari Solo Camp. Yes. I like this. It's continuing, so that's good too. Animation gets a little dire at points later into the season because you run out of money, you run out of time, whatever. Everyone's not quite on model anymore. First few episodes are really good though. I really like this. It is. It's weird to say I really like it. It wasn't my first click every time things would show up. I really like this. Oh, are we to Futari Solo Camp? I'm being asked by Sean in chat. Is this one of these safe to show to parents? This is definitely one of those things. It is very much these two people with like a big age gap getting together and like meeting each other in a camping situation. And Gen, who's the older guy, he's like, I just want to be left alone. And this girl shows up and he's like, she fell in the river. Most of her gear is like soaked. It's like 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. Like she doesn't have a tent ready. She doesn't have whatever else. And she's just like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I came here on my own and all my stuff is like wet or ruined or whatever. And he's like, okay, let's take care of you. And, he helps her out and then teaches her. It's like, you can't just go camping on your own. And after she has like a really hard night, she wakes up the next day and she's like, I need you to teach me how to do this because I want to go camping. I want to learn how to do this. And he's like, just go find people who you know. And she's like, I don't know anybody who wants to go camping. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to keep bothering you until you take me camping. They're strangers, by the way. But somehow she manages to tell him I want to go with you because I want you to teach me how to do this so that I can get better at doing it. You're the only person I know who can do it. I'm going to keep bothering you how to do it. And he's like, but I don't want to camp with someone else. And she's like, I have a solution. Uh, we'll do this like together but separately. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then it takes a few episodes to kind of work out what the rules should be about that. And they finally do. But it's also nice because it's like a slowly developing love story as well, which is also cute. The romance is not like we've only gotten 12 episodes in, so it's like the romance part of it has been taking a long time to develop, but it's there. You know, you can see that there's something coming of it. And there's has lots of baggage, but I like it. It's firmly in the realm of these are adults doing things that adults do, and they have their own series of friends. Gen has like a friend, and then she has like a few friends, and they all talk to each other, and it's just kind of like nice. It's just kind of, and it's complicated, and the nice thing is that she cooks. Because she says, I will cook all the food because I want to become a chef anyway, so I will cook all the food if you teach me how to camp. And he's like, fine. And then he realizes, oh, that's actually a really good deal. And then they also, though, the nice part, they still go camp on their own. Oh, not even at the same time with each other, because he has more time to go camping and stuff than she would. But she'll also decide to go camping on her own at a certain time. And it's like, it is adults deciding to do things on their own as well as much as spending time with each other, which is also like a nice thing. So the manga's good. I like the manga. I'm glad they're animating it. I'm looking forward to watching the next 12 episodes. All right. Gassen Shoujo to Ibunka Koryu, Game Center Girl. Can't remember what this translated to because I dropped it after the first episode. I got all excited about this. And after the first episode, I was like, nope, sorry. And I know that the girl that they asked to come in to play the English girl named Lily Baker, not an American girl, not an Australian girl, not a Canadian girl, English. She's from England. Now that could also mean they could have meant from Wales or from Cornwall or from anywhere else, right? But they do state she's from England. We know this. When she speaks English, she does not have an English accent. And that's when I turned off the show. Rather, I watched the first episode, got to the end, and I was like, no. I can't do it. I'm like, you want to go to this effort, and I know it's like when, we cast somebody to be Chinese in an American film. So who do we go to? This Japanese guy. Now, somebody who is very used to, being from China or being from Japan or being from Korea or being from that neck of the world where you get used to, I can tell the difference between what people look like. And yet, white people aren't good at that. So, we don't care. You kind of look the part. I watched Airplane a couple nights ago because I hadn't seen it in a while. And, oh, shit, there's some stuff that didn't age well. But also, in the credits, there's a Japanese general on the plane who decides to disembowel himself rather than sit and listen to Ted Stryker talk to him. And that guy was played by James Hong. And when I saw that, I was like, well, what the fuck? And of course, but that's the problem in Hollywood, right? And so this is the reverse thing of, we'll get an English girl, Lily Baker. And who do we get? We'll get someone who can speak almost perfect English, but she speaks it with an American accent. Or at least definitely not an English accent. And I'm like, yeah, that's too bad. Especially because she's spending all of her time in the show only speaking English, barely speaking Japanese. And I was just like, wouldn't it have been better to find someone who could speak English accented English first? I know that's very difficult, but if you could find an actress who could do that and then was also maybe Japanese as their second language, and could you find someone who was like that? And I'm like, I don't know. But I'm sure to the Japanese audience, it works, and it was fun, and it was great, and it's awesome. And maybe if this is a manga, is it a manga? Yeah, from a manga, it works too because she's speaking English all the time, and you can pretend that's what you're hearing. But to me, I was like, I can't stand this. I can't stand that I'm hearing what is clearly not English accented English. It's completely taking me out of this. And that's what happened. Is I just was like, oh well, this is not going to work for certain segments of your audience. You have to be able to suspend your disbelief even more. And I was like, I can't do it. So that's me being unable to do a thing. Let's move on. Gachiakuta. Didn't watch that. Grand Blue Season 2. That was exciting. I didn't start watching this right away. Because I was like, I know what Grand Blue is like. I don't know if I'm going to still enjoy it or not. This one has, maybe it's because of the way that things are delivered. There is weird pacing with jokes because obviously you need to be able to fill time. Like when you're doing a chapter where you can be like, I turn the page and everything goes crazy. So everything is normal on one page and I turn the page and now everybody's got crazy drawn face, way too much detail, fire behind them, and they're, like, I'm going to kill this guy with a spiked bat kind of thing, right? Like the kind of like wild mood swings that this series has back and forth to highlight the comedy. I'm like, right. That's really what's fun about Grand Bleu. The anime doesn't pace it that well to my taste because I feel like it should be happening faster and stronger and then getting the hell out of it. And I think that's maybe just a problem. I don't know if the first season had that happen or not at times. This was still fun. It was still interesting and like, okay, we're getting more of the story. I'm looking forward. I think they actually confirmed there's going to be a season 3, but not right away. And who knows when that's going to happen. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch the third. Yeah, I think they are doing a third season. I'm like, I'll watch the third season too. I didn't enjoy the opening and the ending themes for this one either. I listened to them like once and I was just like, this feels like a retread of what you did in the first season, but I don't like the songs as much and they feel very, I don't want to say phoned in. People worked probably very hard on trying to make this one. Like it just feels, it's like, all we have is youth and our youth is forever. So let's get out there and be young. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I think even in my 20s, I would have been like, no. There is some ridiculous stuff that goes on in here that actually does suit animation, which is fun too. I wouldn't have cared if they wanted to spend 2 or 3 minutes underwater more often, like with the dives, make the dives longer so they can kind of like compress the jokes more. Just kind of be like, look at how amazing it is when you dive. That might have been fun. I can't say for sure. But I'll keep watching it. Hikaru ga Shinanatsu. Did not watch this. Hotel Inhumans. Heather and I watched the first 3 episodes. I was looking forward to something that's like the Continental from John Wick. Because this really feels like this is the Continental from John Wick. With 2 young anime protagonists who work at the hotel. And I'm like, oh, this is what I want. We watched the first 3 episodes. First episode was interesting. We watched the next 2 episodes. There was a 2-parter. And I'll just tell you right now, the next 2 episodes were about a guy who, surprise, surprise, is also an assassin going around killing people. But then he gets attacked. And so he says, I want you to give me the final option or whatever they call it, which is where they go ahead and they clean up as much as they can. But this guy dies and they have to come up with a whole backstory as to why he dies. And then for his wife and for like funeral settings and for like all these other things, is like he has all this stuff already kind of figured out, and has to be able to it's like the wife will come to the funeral and all these things will happen, and it's like, okay, cool. And overall, I'm just like, it's not that. It didn't grab me enough, and I don't like in that kind of job. I feel like you'd have to care a lot more, and these 2 don't. I don't know what they care about. I kind of like puts it out there, but like I'm not getting a lot of like who they are, and it would be better, I think, if they had started with an episode that really gave you more about who these characters are and how they fit into the life of running this hotel, and kind of give you the softer things of this is what happens in a hotel like this. That's what I would have liked. I'm not the person who invented it. and or drew the manga or did anything. Clearly, what the mangaka did was not good enough to actually get an anime. So good on them. But yeah, I just felt like it bounced off it after those 3 episodes, and we're like, I don't think we're going to watch any more of this. And Heather was like, yeah, I'm not really that interested in what's going on here. So moving on. Isekai Mokushiroku Mainogura Hametsu no Bunmei de Hajimeru Sekai Seifuku. No, didn't watch that. Jibaku Shonen Hanako-kun 2 Part 2. Wasn't watching Hanako-kun, so we'll move on. Jido Hanbaeki ni umare kawatte... Sorry. Umare kawatta ore wa Mekkyu no Samayo 2nd season. We did watch this. Heather and I... I'm gonna ascribe this to her as well. We're getting a little sick of how OP Boxo is. It'd be something if we had more, like, we were starting to wonder, is he going to run out of points? Well, let me tell you, by the end of the 2nd season, you do not have to worry about him running out of points anymore. And because of so much of it that's being like mediated by very RPG menus and stuff, but the reveal of that doesn't happen that it's like, I want to know the underlying mechanism of what he's allowed to do and what he isn't. And it's not. It's like, don't worry, Superman has heat vision when he needs it, and don't worry, he'll forget when he doesn't. When it would be better for him to not have heat vision, he'll just forget that he does. And he'll just make up new shit, which I think is also that's very Silver Age Superman, I think people have complained about. And that's what this feels like. It's like, I'm incredibly OP, all the girls are in love with me, but I can't do anything about it because I'm a box. We introduce a character who, if she touches him, she can read his mind, because she can read the minds of animals, and he's still technically an animal soul inside of a box, so she can touch him, and they can have full-on telepathic conversations with each other without him having to, like, mediate through his sound chip trying to say stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what to make of it. It's like, I'm seeing here, there's the 3rd season. It's like, I will probably watch the 3rd season too, but frankly, it's like, the 1st season was a lot of fun and very interesting. I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this. And then the 2nd season was like, why is he... It feels like, rather than try to utilize the abilities that I have, I'll just keep remembering there are new vending machines I can turn into. And I'm like, should there not be a cost for that? I thought there was a cost for that. Oh, well, don't worry. At this point, he has so many points that he'll never actually run out of points, or maybe he will, or it's not really clear. And I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of like, I wrote myself so many OP powers to get myself out of problems that now I can't forget that I have these. Or I have to be like, oh, right, I forgot I could do that because I have so many options for stuff I could do. So I'm like, yeah. He was actually upset one time that he did not, that he was upset that everyone thought he was the leader of the party. Then he was upset later that he didn't contribute anything to killing the thing. I'm like, you're a vending machine. You didn't contribute to killing the big thing you're fighting? That's fine. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We watched it. I don't know we'll see what happens in the next one. Jigoku Sensei Nube, was not interested in watching that, so I moved on. Kaiju Hachigo 2nd season, didn't watch that. Kakko no Inazuke season 2, didn't watch the first one, so didn't watch that. Kamitsubaki shi Kensetsu-chu. Blink, blink. Let's clear those contact lenses. Kamitsubaki shi Kensetsu-chu. Didn't watch that. Kaoru Hana wa Rinto Saku. Oh, that's cute. All right. It's translated as the fragrant flower blooms in this whatever. We were just calling it fragrant flower at home. This is fun. This is very like Star-Crossed Lovers. Very light high school romance. And yeah, the whole thing about Chidori High stands next to Kikyo Girls High. You know, the boys' school that takes in the dregs of society, right next to the girls' school that takes in that has wealthy high class families sending their precious daughters. There's so much about this that really feels good, and feels positive, and feels like it feels. It's clearly written by somebody who is like, man, when I was 16, I wish I'd acted like this. But also, I don't wholly forget what it's like to be 16. And that was very gratifying. That's like, you're still going to feel, you don't know how things are going to fit. You're not going to know how you feel about each other, kind of thing. But it's also, this isn't about the two main characters getting together right away doing whatever. This is about the two main characters meeting each other and then can't kind of get out of each other's minds, but also know that the school is, the schools fight with each other. The girls don't like the boys' school because, oh, they're all gross, awful boys, and we are all beautiful ojo-samas or whatever. There's a couple little brushstrokes of that in there. But it takes some time, and it's fun and it's nice. And I'm like, if you wanted another like a 12 episode comedy drama romance, like it says on the screen, this is a very good one. It feels very solid. It's very nice. The last episode was wonderful. Heather and I enjoyed it, and I'm like, yeah, I would recommend for people to watch this if you really want this. And as people have been saying, it's a positive feeling show. Thank you, Lamina. It's like, this is a positive show. It's heartwarming. It's nice. You're not going to have a lot of drama that's going to make you be like, oh, miscommunications, which is kind of the thing of a lot of like 2000s era romances tend to just lean into. But what if I can just get 60 volumes out of this by having them misunderstand what they're saying to each other, or they don't have their cell phones out, or something else happens? And it's like, yes, but what if that doesn't mean anything anymore? What if just people can actually come together? And that's what this is. It's very nice. Karaoke Ikko. I didn't know I was getting this because I didn't see it show up in my feed. It turns out that I did get it, and I should watch it. So I don't know. We'll see how it is. Mataku Saikin no Tante to Kitara. This was very difficult for me. Heather pieced out because basically the moment that she saw like her making faces like that, the Mashiro making faces like that, she was like, I don't like how kind of weird and whatever it is. And I'm like, I read the first 2 chapters, I think is all that got translated to this way, way long time ago. I was so surprised that they were going to make this. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. The anime wins. Like, because I remember this being an interesting premise for a manga, but when I watched the actual show, I was like, oh shit, I'm here. I love this. This is absolutely fuck nuts bonkers. And yet, right off the top, I watched an episode and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to watch another episode of this right now because it does seem like a lot. I don't really know if I want to do with it. You watch the second episode, like, that was good. And then the next one comes on, I was like, I don't really know if I want to watch it today. But by about like the 4th episode that I had like show up, like I'd had a few kind of like build up, and I watched a couple of them back to back, and I was like, oh yeah, no, this got me. Like I did a 3-episode test back to back, essentially, just kind of like a little late in the season. I was like, yes, I'm here for this. This is a lot of fun. It's super goofy. It's and I would watch I don't watch the opening sequence. I watched it once. I'm like, I know what you're going for, and it's great. I'm not interested, but I would watch the ending all the time because I kept trying to like translate what is Mashiro trying to sing, because I'm not great at Japanese. So it's like, maybe I can pick up on words and stuff here and there, but it's like, clearly she's singing. I want to try to pick up bits and pieces of it there. It's why I miss modern anime not translating not doing karaoke track or not doing translation track for the songs, but that's fine. It's a lot of work. Mostly because people are like, we have to time it, and we have to have animated whatevers, and we have to do all sorts of crazy shit. And I'm like, you could just put the words on the screen. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you went to that much effort. And you all felt like you had to win the internet, is what it felt like to me. So that every subtitler, every fan subber was like, I got to do this thing because I have to prove that I'm better than this other group. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It should have never mattered. I don't know why you think that, oh, our stuff is animated, so therefore we're better than you. It's like, no, put the time into translating it properly. Just don't, like, Jesus. Moving on. Mikado no Sanshimai wa Angai Choroi. Right. This was a romance where he had to try to get the three awesome girls. I don't even remember this, and I did not watch it. Mizu Zokuse no Mahotsukai, the Water Magician. I wasn't sure if we'd like this. We sat down and watched the first episode and kind of felt like it's a reincarnation thing, and now he has water magic. It's like, okay. And Heather was kind of like, I'm not sure about this. I'm like, I'm not sure about it either. Let's see how it goes. We watched the first episode and we're like, well, it went really slow. And then we watched the second episode where he meets his buddy. And we're like, okay, that's not so bad. That's kind of neat. And then the third episode where they're going on their magical journey. They're starting their trek or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, so this is interesting. Decaped says the Water Magician is chill. And it's like, yeah, it is chill. But I think we dropped it at the fourth episode. Like at the end of the third episode was just like, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it enough to kind of like that I'd want to keep at it. Yeah, it just kind of left us cold. And I don't know why that is, because I mean, maybe it's just because it was like for something that is, at least it wasn't like, oh, and then he ended up at a high school academy, the Royal Academy is what I mean, I'm sorry, and then he had to do this thing. It's like, it wasn't like any of those shows, which I feel are lazy, but are also, they're lazy, I'm going to assume half the time because it's like the editors are saying this is what sells, so you have to write this. Sometimes I feel it's all the reason why that happens. So this is a hard one because I don't know if there's anything wrong with it, but I don't feel like there's anything exciting enough for me to be like, I want to recommend it. So I think it's largely up to you whether you liked it or not. And if you did, great. I hope you enjoy it or continue to enjoy it. If there's more of it, whatever's going to happen. Anyway, Muchu sa kimi ni. Yeah, I didn't see this show up in my feed, and then it did all of a sudden, and I was like, okay, I'll watch this at some point, right? I'll watch this. Surely I'll watch this. And then the other day I was cleaning up stuff, and I'm like, oh, I never did. And I actually don't really care. And I think I'm just going to not watch it. And so that's what's happened. So I didn't watch it. Necronomico no Cosmic Horror Show. Didn't watch that. New Panting Stocking with Garter Belt. Never saw it hit my feed. Don't really care if I watched it or not also. So I was ultimately like, and so, yeah, that's fine. If I do see, if it ends up in my feed at some point again, or if I'm like curious about, oh, whatever happened with that, maybe I'll go back and watch it. But right now, not feeling it. Not gonna go chase it down. Nikitashi, the animation. Didn't watch that. Onmyo Kaiten Reverse, didn't watch that. Osamatsu-san 4, didn't watch that. Puniru wa Kawaii Slime, second season, didn't watch that. Ruri no Hoseki. The subtitle for it is Introduction to Mineralogy. The actual translation, I guess, is Rudy's Rocks, or Rudy Rocks. The rocks of Rudy, the gems of Rudy, however you want to, because Hoseki no Kuni was... the hell was the name of that series again? Oh, somebody's here. I think the janitor might be coming in to clean stuff. Anyway, I liked this. I liked this a lot. This was a lot of fun. Land of the Lustrous. Thank you. I forgot what the Hoseki no Kuni is. Land of the Lustrous. And yeah, it's there's a more like very specific. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ruri no Hoseki. This is Rudy right here. She wants money and jewels and bright stuff and cool things and whatever else. And in the first episode, she ends up bumping into Nagi, who is a graduate student at the local university for geology. And through happenstance and conversation or whatever, she ends up like Nagi tells her about gems, and then they start going through. They start going through a lot of stuff about this is how geology works. This is how you look for whatever. The manga, I'm sure, is set up much the same as the anime, which is, holy shit, we can't make this take a geological amount of time. We can't just be like, it takes forever for you to be able to identify where things are and understand how stuff works, and then understand like that. So what we'll do is we'll get into it very fast by showing you gems and gold and like all sorts of stuff. We want Rudy to have a good time finding stuff, finding minerals, and be blown away by how pretty rocks are. And yeah, it's a fun show for that. It is definitely the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I'm interested in the idea that they're pushing here, but also I know that they have to. We're trying to get through some stuff to be like, we have to show you where you'll find amethysts or sapphires, and how you'll find placer sand, as they call it in the translation that I was watching, or sorry, placer gold. But they explain the methods by which geologists will go looking for stuff when they're trying to like find out, it's like, where are there veins of certain things. And then from Rudy's perspective, it's like, great, we found the sapphires. But from Nagi's perspective, it's like, and what does that mean, right? We found sapphires, sure. Who cares? Like it's great that we found them. That's important. But what's interesting is like why we found them, and what does that mean about the world around us that these sapphires ended up here. And if you found like sapphires like at the bottom of this river, but they're really tiny sapphires, right? But you're only finding one or two, then is it possible that they got washed downstream from like further up? So we should be checking the streams to see, are there other sapphires going to appear at other points along the way? And then you can use like the process of elimination to figure out, well, if the sapphires can be found down here, but at a certain point they stop, that means that between here and here is where we should be looking. And then did they get washed down off of the side of a mountain, or did they like come out of wherever? It's very interesting. And there's like a lot of the episodes that I end up getting had translations for all the eye catch cards that would actually tell you more stuff about like minerals and whatnot. And I'm like, this was a great crash course into learning about mineralogy and geology and that kind of thing, and the kind of, how you research and how you study that kind of stuff. I recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. I've also heard apparently that the mangaka, or maybe the character designer, but I know at least the mangaka, has done an awful lot of Yuri work in the past, smut work, I think, especially too. So I'm like, oh, that also then is probably the reason why everyone's drawn the way they are. Yeah. All right, moving on. Seishun Butayaro wa Santa Claus no Yume wo Minai. And this is the sequel to something that I didn't watch. So, yeah, I didn't watch the last thing. I didn't watch this thing. Shukan Ranobe Anime. I don't even remember what this is. I don't remember bringing this up or understanding anything about it. Yeah. I guess, original short episodes based on stories by light novel authors. That's an interesting idea. I didn't know this existed. Whatever. Moving on. Silent Witch, Chinmoku no Majo no Kakushigoto. So, I never saw this hit my feed. I've never watched any of it. I don't know where this is. Did this come out? I don't know. It did. That's great. I'm glad. Will I go back and watch it? I mean, if it hits my feed, I will probably watch it. So, yeah. I don't know what happened, why I missed it. Maybe my feed's not set up properly. Who knows? Moving on. Sono Biskutar wa Koi o Suru. Season 2. Of course I watched this. This was very good. This was a lot of fun. The opening theme has a couple of issues from my perspective. It's a really good opening theme once you get past the initial like 8 seconds, because the first 4 seconds are really cool. Like they really grab your attention. They have that whole, I think they've been calling it the millennial whoop or the millennial howl or whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, it's got that great little fun fun call thing that goes on in it, but it's done in the minor key, or at least it sounds like it's in the minor key. But it's like no, that's over a minor chord, because this whole song's in the major key until you hit the chorus, and the chorus actually brings the minor key back in again, or more of the minor chords and stuff back in again, and it's very exciting and very upbeat and very fun. But it's kind of rocking. I mean, that's the thing, is like alternative rock played around in minor chords way more often, it felt like, than like older styles of rock and roll did. And so you get used to like hearing things a certain way, and so you're like, oh, okay, well, I really like that kind of style and that sound, and yeah, I was really I liked the song. There's some great moments in it too, because like the whole opening sequence is Marin's running around trying to find Gojo, and she's she's like quick changing costumes like along the way. She's just basically just like changing from costume to costume to costume. She's running along trying to, costumes that show up in the series, in fact. She's running along the way, and there's like a point where there's a bunch of I don't want to say bolts of fabric, because it's not bolts of fabric, but it is individual sheets of fabric laying on the floor, but in like a giant heart, and she walks in. So you're watching her walk into the street from top down, kind of, because the heart's laying on the ground. She walks in on top of the heart in a nun outfit, and she starts to spin around, and then the scene cuts to her from the front, and she turns around to face the camera with her eyes closed. She's been spinning around with her eyes closed the whole time, with like a really nice smile on her face, and she just falls backwards. And when she does fall backwards onto the ground where the heart would be, then all the sheets like flump, like they fly up into the air, and when they all fly away, Cloverworks has their studio mark in the background, and this is all happening over like a really good part of the song as well. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it's the whole I'm falling in love thing, and I was like, oh, like this is all really cool. Yeah, and then as Rather Large Toad says, and then at the end of the whole opening sequence, burger. She's just eating a hamburger, like big, all the ingredients in a big hamburger, and it's like, yep, that's cool. It's a fun opening, and I just really like the rest. Like the whole season was really, really good. Her getting to do the school festival and getting to cosplay as this anime thing, and then them having the meetup. There's all the people she gets to meet in the latter half of the season, where they have the big meetup for the horror game visual novel that a lot of people are into, and like a lot of sharing of how do I feel about, because like Juju-chan comes back again, and how do I feel about this, and there's all these other people she's meeting who are like, apparently they're like really kind of like closed off cosplay people, and it's just like, and then some of them aren't, and just like, it's really fun to have the characterization spread out. I've read the whole manga. It's done now. There's also like they start up a new series that's like a new take on it that's a little different. I don't really know how I feel about it. But yeah, overall, season 2 was top fucking notch. This is the first thing that I would watch every time it showed up. I was like, I'm so happy that they're doing more of this. It's so fun. It's so positive. And when they do have like interactions and problems and stuff, it's like, okay, well, this is good. This is a chance for people to grow and to change and to learn more about each other. And I'm like, this just feels so good. And Marin's just like a great, she's just a great like protagonist character to have, because she's not perfect, but she's she's not like top studies, top whatever, like all that kind of stuff. She's just super into playing like doing cosplay, and other than that, like everything else kind of takes like a side road to that. Like it's not really a back seat, but it's like I can worry about this stuff later. My only complaint on the ending theme is really good. I didn't like the official music video for the ending theme very much, because I was like, I don't like this at all. But the actual ending theme for this was really good, and the ending theme itself is like really good. So the ending sequence is really fun. The one thing that I thought they were going to get to, because they show it in the ending sequences, we were going to get to her big moment playing What's the name of the character? Hanma? Oh, what's the name of the character? There's this character that she ends up playing that Gojo creates the costume for. This happens in the manga. And then she goes out to, and it's like this character from this like really kind of moody, dark manga. And she goes to Comiket and burns the place down. Like, it's so cool to watch this happen. And the fallout from it is crazy making. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right. Sword Hero, or no, Shield Hero. Why did it even bother getting it right? Tensei shitara dai nana oji datta node kimamani majutsu o kiwamimasu. Second season. I did not watch the first one. No, wait, I did watch the first one. Did I watch the first one? I can't remember if I watched this or not, but I know I didn't watch this one. Moving on. Tolgen Anki. Didn't watch that. Tsui Hosha Shokudo e Yokoso. Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant. This was fine. I watched it to the end because I wanted to see what would happen. It's just kind of dead fine. Like it's like it's very like, it feels very paint by numbers. I thought something else would happen. I was trying to see if something would happen that would be different in some way, and it's like it didn't. So and then levels come into play, and it's like, oh, level 99, and you can come level 100 when you realize your true calling, and I'm like, okay. I was very surprised that hashtag foiled rape attempt. I was very surprised to find that out in the second episode. They were like, we're just gonna go right to foiled rape attempt, huh? Okay, great, that's awesome. Good fucking start, guys. Didn't enjoy it at all. Wasn't interested in that so much. Again, did watch the season, right? So, if they made more, I probably wouldn't watch it. It's whatever. Tsuyokute New Saga, didn't watch that. Turkey, didn't watch that. Okay, and to be clear, I think I mentioned this in the last episode too. The reason why I wasn't interested in this is just because I was like, I'm not interested in every cute girls doing cute thing. And I'm reading chat now, and Pear Bear says, I gave Turkey 3 episodes before dropping. I was hoping for a bowling anime, not time isekai. Okay. Well, wild. Huh. I don't know what to make of that, but huh. All right. Utagoe wa Mewfu. I don't even remember talking about this. So it's Pitch Perfect the anime, it looks like. It's doing a cappella. Everyone's got microphones. If it's just you on the school roof doing it, you probably don't need to have the microphone. Oh, I guess maybe to get the whatever, but anyway. Watari-kun no ga Houkai Sunzen. Why does this sound familiar? Did I read part of this? No. Yes. Oh, I read all this. Oh, right. Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. We talked about this. I didn't care about this. Like, by the end of the story, I was like, okay, this is the story. The manga is over. I'm only reading this to get to the end of the manga because I can at least do that for free. This is how it's going to end? Fine. I actually don't remember how it ends anymore. I know how I would have written it so it would end, but I don't. It just, yeah. So moving on. An actual Yuri series. Watashi ga koibito ni nareru wake nai jan muri muri. Muri janakute? Muri ja nakata? Nakata. I forgot this was in my feed, and so I started watching it late. I got 2 episodes in, and I was like, okay, I think I have a feeling about how this is going to go, but I don't really know. I don't know if I like the feel of it. I don't know if I'm going to watch the rest of it. I haven't taken it off my feed. I am very ambivalent towards it. Like, I was all excited to be like, oh yeah, the Yuri series that I think I read a couple chapters of or whatever. Now having watched it, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I don't know if I like the premise, like of okay, we're gonna have a contest and we're gonna do this one way or the other, where it's like, but yeah, we're gonna find out whether best friends or lovers or whatever. I'm like, okay, I like that as an idea. Um, Obviously, executing on that is more difficult, as was proved in the second episode. And I just don't know how I feel about it overall. So yeah. And it also looks like all the other girls are then into her too. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that either, but whatever. Move on. Yofukashi no Uta season 2, Call of the Night. I've read the whole manga. And then plus that was the thing, is that I think the manga was still coming out or getting translated while the first season was going on. Very easy for me to stay excited. But I finished that, finished the season, and then I finished the manga, or vice versa, roughly around the same time. And because I know what's going on in the second half, like I know what's supposed to be going on in this part, I've only watched a couple of episodes of this, and I didn't go back to watch more because like there's a lot of sadness in this story, despite it being about like falling in love. There's a lot of sadness in it, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. Like I wish there was a sadness tag to be like not tragedy, but just sad. There's some tragic things too, because you're learning more about who some of these characters are, and everybody has a tragic backstory, and it's just like, meh. So I didn't feel like I wanted to watch more of it. Zutaboro Reijo wa ane no moto konyakusha ni dekiai sareru. I gotta hand it to this light novel anime. They kind of did it. Like, this was the first watch when Heather and I were sitting at the couch together. This would be the first thing we would watch. It is a very convoluted setup, and it is very much about a girl that has clearly been emotionally abused by her family, trying to understand that she can be a desirable person. But wow, like it's kind of nice and fun watching this girl grow up, and then also all the great like, this is how we're going to make this happen, and this is how we're going to pull all these threads back together, and what all these threads are going to mean. I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of interesting. I would want more of this, to know more about the world that they live in. I don't know why. The world just seems a little more interesting to me. And like, because knowing that when Marie shows up at Count Granado's the dude there holding her hand. Marie's the redhead one. Count Granado's like, you learn that because he comes from another place. His mother married was the second marriage of a duke of this kingdom, and she was from another country, and so he inherits a countship somehow, and his mom lives at his house with him, but he's kind of set up to be able to take over the duke's territory because he's the only heir to the duke's territory. But he would want to prove that he would be good enough to do stuff himself, so he managed to prove himself into a way of getting a countship. And so eventually he'll take over the duke's territory, I think, at some point as well. And it's complicated, but I'm just like, I like the feel of this place. And that he wants to welcome anybody from any other country, from any sort of outcast or whatever. He wants to welcome them into his court to be like, you could work for me. You know what to do. Sure, you're from another country and people don't trust the people of that country, but I can trust you because I know you're good at this. And I was like, yeah. So, yeah. Right. Decaped says, this is Betrothed to My Sister's Ex, which is a terrible title, but it's actually okay. And I guess my other real complaint is I've been having a lot of like, I don't know how I feel about nobility and billionaires. So I don't know if I'm having a great time watching somebody go on about, look at how cool it is to be rich and powerful. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. TV short. We're going to just finish this out and then we'll take a break. Chibi Godzilla no Gyakushu 3. Nope, didn't watch that. Didn't watch Chikyu no La Terre. Didn't watch Gakko de wa Oshiete Kurenai Taisetsu na Koto. I did watch Milky Subway, which is on YouTube. You can watch it for free. It's a sequel to Milky Highway, but that's a one-episode thing. And these episodes are 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long. These are so fun. They have official subtitles. Jolly G's already saying this in chat. All 12 episodes are out. Go watch them. The theme song's a banger. even though you'll hear like 12 seconds of it. Um, go watch this. Support this with views. Tell your friends, get them to watch it too. I would love for these people to be like, um, what they've made is essentially what we would call an OVA from back in the day. They made like 12 times 3, that's 36 episodes. So you make like a 40 episode thing that everybody worked really hard on to make this happen. It's fun and it's talky. It's all CG. It's a goofy idea. Characterization's really tight. You don't need a lot of time to learn about every character. You don't even need to watch the prequel. You don't need to watch Milky Highway to understand. I watched halfway through this series. I'm like, where is Milky Highway? And it's in the same channel. And then I watched that and I'm like, oh, that's the setup to what goes on in this. This is the more interesting part, clearly. But I would be like, I'm really impressed that like indie animators, because this feels like an indie anime thing. Indie animators are getting to do more interesting and cooler things. And if there's any part of like you get the setting and you get the characters so fast and the stakes are clear, and it's like I'd love to see more of this go on. It's just one guy. I mean, there's a lot of people in the credits, so I assumed it was a very small animation studio of some sort that worked on it, like maybe 5 people or something. And maybe it is, and maybe it's like outsourcing a lot of their work. But there was a lot of people in the credits, it seemed like to me. One thing I will say, since I am talking about independent animation, is that, of course, we are kind of living in a time, like the last 4 years or so have also been a time of more independent animation being bankrolled through crowdfunding and all these other kind of things and being picked up by other groups. So I never watched The Amazing Digital Circus. Some people said it's great. I've seen a lot of shit on Tumblr about it. Maybe I'll go watch it. I don't know. I'm kind of just like, I don't know if I'm interested. Big Top Burger, people said, was also a really good thing too. Lackadaisy was like, I read the manga, or not the manga, I read their webcomic for that, and I was kind of waiting for more of that to come out. Maybe actually get a chance to watch it someday, but I was also like, I'm not really driven to do that. And then just the other day, I saw something appear on my YouTube feed, and then I saw some people talking about it. So I'm like, Heather and I'll go watch it. And we watched Knights of Guinevere. And that's the same channel that does The Amazing Digital Circus. And yeah, Homestuck's getting an anime as well, or Homestuck's getting an animated series, I should say. Knights of Guinevere by Dana Terrace, who did The Owl House. And it is clearly about some stuff. It is clearly about some stuff that is from after The Owl House is over. It is a more gritty. Dana said that it's supposed to be more of like a horror, maybe psychological horror as well, or body horror. But I've also seen a lot of treatment of it, sending it up a little bit too, which is nice. But I like Knights of Guinevere, and I was like, man, if they make more of that, I'll probably watch more of that online. It might take a while for it to come out. I don't know anything about Glitch Studios, or whatever you want to call them. I'm hoping that this is like a capable way of people to keep making independent animation separate from like a studio system where you need like 100, 200 people working on a thing. And you have to have like massive bankroll to do it. But Dana Terrace did an interview and said, yeah, working in this way to make Knights of Guinevere was a lot more fulfilling because you didn't have standards and practices breathing down your neck. Which makes me wonder what the Owl House would have been, and also makes me wonder if I would have enjoyed Owl House if that was the case. I don't know. We'll see. I liked Owl House the way it came out, but could there have been more? I could definitely believe they would have done more, but anyway. Milky Subway was a lot of fun, and when we're done here, if you got like a half hour, go watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. Kizu Dadake Seijo Yori Hohuku o Komete. Saintess candidate, power of healing. Only heal other by transferring their wounds onto herself. I didn't watch any of this. I think because it came up as TV short, I was like, I don't know if it's going to build anything I'm interested in. Puni Renez, Puni 3. Shinobanai, Crypto Ninja, Sakuya-san no Maki. Didn't watch that. Tomika and Tom. Didn't watch that. Tomika Heroes, Jabraver. Tokiso Gattai Robo. Didn't watch that. Yami Shibai, 15. Didn't watch Jesus. Okay. And Shirley. No. Didn't go back to continue watching this. I don't know if I will. I'm not really sure. Watching that first episode and just being like, wow, she's so earnest with her dialogue, and then the subtitling itself is also very earnest, and I'm just like, it feels like it's lifted right out of the book, which is probably appropriate. It's almost certainly appropriate, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. So she's so pure-hearted and imaginative, and it's just like, yeah, it seems like a lot. But anyway, moving on. Araiguma Kalkaldan, didn't watch that. Everyday Host, didn't watch that. Kijin Gen Tosho, didn't watch that. Shin Samurai Den Yaiba, nope. Summer Pockets, nope. Uchujin Mumu, we watched one episode, and I think I just was like, I bounced off it. I was like, I'm not interested. So I think that might have even been like from a while ago. Witch Watch, we haven't resumed it. I think because after we watched the culmination of the first cour, we were like, oh, this is a fun, goofy, ridiculous show. Oh shit, it can also get really heavy and really action-packed really fast. Oh, that was satisfying to watch the end of that. Oh, now we got to go back to it being all goofy and stuff without knowing when it's going to become, when it's going to become all serious again. And I liked it better when it was just a goofy fun show. So I don't know if we'll ever resume it or not. We'll see. Movie-wise, I don't think we watched much in the way of movies, so we'll probably skim through these pretty fast. As One, I don't know anything about, didn't watch it. Baan Otona no Kyokai, didn't watch that. Interesting idea. Chainsaw Man Rezehen, didn't watch that. Chao, didn't watch that. Crayon Shin-chan got a movie. Nope. Fushigi no Kuni de Alice to Dive in Wonderland. So it's a new Alice in Wonderland, I guess, or something like that. Didn't watch that. Hyakuemu, didn't watch that. Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Johen, Movie 1, Akaza Sairai. I just learned today that Kimetsu no Yaiba refers to the sword. I didn't know that. King of Prism, Your Endless Call, Minna Kirameke, Prism Tours. Nope. Odekake Kozame Tokai no Otomodachi. Nope, didn't watch that. Toei-sa no Aseishin Shitai Baka no Smafoto Romance to. Nope. Oh, here's more of that. Anohi no Kanojo Tachi Day 09 Miyo Takagawa. Nope. Ashita no Arika. What? Oh my god. Is this corporate anime? It is. Asami and salesperson at Kobe Steel, then a mystical ray of light. She wanted to quit. Came out of a corporate history book, learned to Kobe, and then she got to meet people in the foundings period, and then she got to learn about the Kobe group's history, and coming into contact with their founder's spirit. Whatever, dude. I didn't mind the one about the zippers, but Bad Girl. I watched an episode of, and I fell asleep halfway through the second episode of, and I have not resumed it. Heather bounced off it, I think, as well, because she hasn't been pushing to watch it. I think it's a funny idea. Obviously, it's going to lead to a lot of, it's more of a Yuri series. We wanted it to be more of like this girl who's clearly a good girl is trying to become a bad girl, and she keeps failing at it. And her friend, who everyone thinks is a bad girl, but who isn't, she keeps looking to her for like inspiration to try to figure it out because she's interested in the third year. Yes, the head of the school's disciplinary committee. This girl is interested in that girl. And then this girl's interested in that girl, and that girl's interested in this girl, and this girl's interested in that. I don't know anything about how this whole show goes. And I was just like, okay. It's really horny, though. It's super fucking horny. Like when you watch, I don't know if it's the intro or the outro. I'm pretty sure it's the outro. One of the two, you're like, oh, they all have bare shoulders and bare collarbones. And I'm going to see them in the show in their school outfits all the time. So why are we showing them with bare shoulders and bare collarbones? This show is very horny. This show is very, very horny. And I was just like, I'm not in the mood for that. Maybe I'll go back and watch some more of it, but whatever. But I'm just not in the mood for it. All right, Bullet. Didn't watch that. Chainsaw Biori, anime shorts along the film. Didn't watch that. Faint Grand Order season 3 something or other, didn't watch that. Kanojo Kairi Shimasu 4th season, didn't watch that. Wow, look at the swimsuits though, very complicated in a lot of, yeah. I do like that whenever it's like we have time to put them in swimsuits, let's put them in like very complicated designs. Those will be expensive. Kizetsu Yusha to Ansatsu Hime. So something hero and Assassination Princess. Yeah, didn't watch that. Koisuru One Piece Day something or other, didn't watch that. Koju Denka no Kate Kyoshi. So we watched 4, maybe 5 episodes maybe of this. I read the manga up to the amount of translated chapters and never saw any more past like probably the 4th episode of this. I was hoping it would be more of a, I'm trapped here for the winter. I have to teach this girl how to, because I'm trapped in like the north of the country of the kingdom, and I have to teach this duke's daughter how to do magic. And it's going to be like a long haul, but along the way we're going to discover things about her and her family, and there'll be like mystery stuff, but it'll be like all in a very like tight environment. Nobody can go anywhere. He can't leave. Somebody else will maybe eventually make the trek up and through the snow from the capital. You know, it's like, no, because hey, is there a guy in this picture somewhere? I don't see where he is, but there sure are a lot of ladies, because eventually these two have to go to the fucking academy. They have to go to the Royal Academy, so they go to her and her maid. They have to go to the Royal Academy. Her with the maid that has the big titties with the show-off cleavage window, who she's like 15 or something. I don't know, but they have to go to the thing. This girl is like the one who she's into the guy. It doesn't matter. This whole show, just by the 5th episode, it was like, I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. I don't want anyone to go to high school in, you know, I don't want rich kids in the fucking high school anymore. I don't want any of that stuff. I need it to stop. I'm getting to an age, I think, and I just don't give a shit anymore. So I should just be marking these things as I'm not watching. But anyway, Leviathan, didn't watch that. Moonrise, didn't watch that. My Melody and Kuromi, didn't watch that. Nyaita the Living Cat, I did not watch that. Obusu ni Hanataba, that's part of that other thing. Pokemon Concierge, we did watch this, 4 new episodes. It was fun. It was fun. Liked it a lot. It's nice to see, you know, just what happens when it's like people hanging out with Pokemon and just having fun with hanging out with Pokemon. And yeah, it's a blast. Yeah, they're on Netflix, I think. Or, you know, they'll fall off the back of a truck if you look for them. It's what it is. It's just so nice, so fun. And then I realized as we were watching it, I was like, hang on a second. Haru and Mrs. Watanabe are both wearing scarves that look incredibly familiar. And Heather's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, the scarves are incredibly familiar. I know I've seen them somewhere. Where the hell are they? And then I had it, because they have like really cool designs, like nice stuff and whatever. And I was like, Pokemon Concierge was out when we were in Japan. It had been out. We went to 7 Pokemon centers. Yes. Hang on. And then I went to the Pokemon Center website and I had a look. And sure enough, yeah, we had looked at buying the bandana that was the Pokemon Concierge bandana that they wear as like the scarf or whatever. It's got like a red border around the edge that you don't really see reflected in when they're wearing it. And I was like, oh shit, that was there. We could have bought that. It's like $15. Like it would have been about 1,500 yen or whatever to buy. And when we were looking at buying stuff, we're like, let's not buy a whole ton of stuff everywhere, because we should be buying a little bit of stuff everywhere. So we have a little bit of stuff that we bought from all these different places. And I was like, oh, we watched Pokemon Concierge. And yeah, that was about the only thing they had in the Pokemon Center at the time, was they still had the bandanas. And I'm like, we could have bought one of those. But the only reason to buy that is as a memento of the fact that we watched the show. Boy, that's stupid. That's not a good reason. That's not a good reason to buy a thing sometimes when you're thinking about what do you want for mementos of stuff. And it's like, I bought, when we were in Pokemon Center Okinawa, I bought 2 Pikachus, which is more than I wanted to buy, but I wanted to go get like the unique item that was at every Pokemon Center. And the Pokemon Center Okinawa had three. All three, and probably even might have had more, but I did ask about just the Nuigurumi, about the plushes. And they had two Pikachus, one of which was the male one was dressed up like the drummer at the local festivals, and the female one was dressed up as a dancer. And they look very good, and they're very elaborate. And they cost what they cost. And the third thing, Arcanine is the mascot character for Pokemon Center Okinawa. And so they have an Arcanine that has a Pikachu riding on top of it. And think about how big Arcanine is, and think about how big Pikachu is. And so they have a great big statue outside the front of the Pokemon Center of that. And then beside it, they had a bunch of baskets full of smaller versions of Arcanine with a little Pikachu sitting on top of it, like perfectly sized. And I was like, we could buy that too. But now I'm buying three things, and we got to get off this island with the same amount of stuff we kind of got onto the island with. So I don't want to start filling my backpack full of more stuff when we are trying to get out of here with not a lot of extra stuff. This shirt is from Okinawa. I like it a lot. It's from a place called Mango House. It is very comfy. It is 100% cotton. That can be hard to come by. So I was, totally into like this island life thing, and then realizing it's like we could have bought the bandana and about the show, but that seems silly. Why do that? No, not really a good reason to do that. Also, if you want to buy the bandana, buy it through the Pokemon Center. If you go online, you can find it on eBay for like $40 plus shipping. It's like, that is not worth it. It's a $15 thing, so whatever. Sakamoto's Days Part 2 did not watch that because I dropped the manga. Shinsei Galverse did not. Sugar Sugar Rune, Les Deux Sorcières. I don't think Heather's aware of this, and maybe I should tell her about it because I think she was trying to watch Sugar Sugar Rune a while ago. Super Ninja Neko. All right, that's cute. Takupi no Genzai. Never saw this hit my feed. Not really concerned about it either, so not going to worry about that. Tsuiho Shiro Madoshi mini anime. Nope. Yusha Partio. Nope. Oh, that's it. Great. Cool. All right. That's it for that. We're going to take a brief break. And then when we come back, we'll be talking about what's going on here. That's what happens now. You go have a brief break. You recycle your fluids, or cycle your fluids. Just cycle. Just get some out of your body and put some other ones in there. You make the call. We're okay with smut around here. I'll see you in a few minutes. And we're back. And this time with audio. Okay. I'm going to keep the, I bumped the mic all the way up to the top, and we should be good to go with more of this is going to be 2025 autumn. So I'm trying to remember to say autumn more than fall, because autumn is one of those words that doesn't have two different words. So yeah, sound is better because I'm back, and this is great. Let's start with whatever this is. 2200 nen Neko no Kuni Nippon. So what's that? Ichiju Hyakusen. So Nisen Nihyaku en Neko no Kuni Nippon. Oh, that is hard. Lots of n in that. Nisen Nihyaku nen Neko no Kuni Nippon. Takes place in the year 2200, where Japan has become a land of cats as the human population birth rate has declined. In this future world, cats can talk, learn, and work. That's very much like Red Cat Ramen, but I'd love to have more Red Cat Ramen. Akaneko Ramen's good. The story follows a high school girl and her argumentative cat. I will absolutely watch this. I hope it's good. Sannen Zigumi. Nah, Zgumi. Sannen Zgumi Ginpachi Sensei. Anime adaptation of the Gintama light novel spin-off, Sannen Zgumi Ginpachi Sensei reimagines Gintoki Sakata as an eccentric homeroom teacher, guiding his equally unique students through hilarious and often nonsensical lessons. I'm into this. It's 12 episodes. It's a light novel. They used to publish like bits of this. I thought they were doing bits of this at the end of the manga as well, but I guess it's a light novel now. Whatever. I'm into this. I hope it ends up being good too. We'll see what happens. The nice thing about this kind of thing is that when you already have been introduced to a ton of characters, and then they're reimagined through this like different lens, you're like, great, I already have the shorthand is already down. So hopefully they're not going to spend a lot of time having to establish what each character's traits are. We'll just be able to get that pretty fast. There's so much Gintama I haven't seen because the group that was subtitling it, the fan subbers for it, they stopped fan subbing it, and they were really good at giving you notes. So you would see something come up and it'd be like, this is a Dragon Quest reference, or this is a this reference. It's like, okay, you might know those things, you might not know those things. But especially if it's like Dragon Quest NES, like when this came out in my 20s, I'm like, I knew about that. Most other kids my age would have known about it. But if you were like, 40, you might not get it, or maybe you would. But if you were like 10, you might not get it. So anyway, I stopped watching a lot of it, so I might be missing on who a few characters are anyway, but I don't think that should matter. That chip was too big. Akujikirejo to kyoketsu koshaku. Sono mamo no watashi ga oishiku itadakimasu. So it's about eating stuff, probably. Any proper noble lady must cultivate refined tastes, and Lady Malfuria's delicacy of choice is monsters. Hey, what do you think monsters taste like? Unfortunately, society frowns upon such unladylike cravings and brands her the voracious villainess. At a banquet, she's attacked by a monster, only to be saved by the feared blood-mad Duke. He's brutal, mysterious, and charming. Could he be the one to appreciate her monstrous appetite? Probably. Alma-chan wa kazoku ni naritai. Or Alma-chan wants to have a family. Or wants to be family? Wants to have a family. A body that combines the appearance of an adorable young girl with overwhelming combat efficiency and AI with intelligence and decision-making skills that surpass human capabilities, the perfect autonomous robot, Alma was created by the overlooked young genius scientist Enji and Suzume, whose brilliance should have been recognized by the world. Alma calls Enji and Suzume father and mother, which leaves them completely flustered. Regardless, the three begin a life together as a family in order to nurture Alma's powerful AI and help her evolve into the ultimate robot. Alma's curiosity has no limits as everything she sees and touches is new to her. Alma keeps Enji and Suzume on their toes with her unmatched learning capabilities and unstoppable energy as she explores the bigger world. A brand new kind of family comedy begins. You're not going to fuck and make kids? Then have a robot and make kids. This is, I read some of the manga for this. This was a lot of fun. The two scientists, one of them is an expert roboticist, and one is an expert software engineer and AI whatever. And so that's why the two of them cram their work together to make this new robot. And yeah, I think it's cute. It's, yeah, I'm going to watch it. Ansatsusha de aru ore no status ga yusha yorimo akiraka ni tsuyoi no daga. He becomes a mediocre assassin, but then he surpasses Hero, and he's the strongest, and then he's falsely framed, and his odds don't fucking care. On Orchestra second season, didn't watch the first one. Boku no Hero Academia final season. Congratulations, I did not watch any of it, but it'll soon be over. Bukyo na Senpai. Kannawa Senpai is considered many things, but smooth is definitely not one of them. Then she meets Kamigawa, her new kohai. He's cute, a little nerdy, and easy to talk to. How will this awkward senpai be able to handle these new feelings? This is going to be probably, I think, a workplace romance then, because her new kohai. Yeah, workplace romance should be fun. We'll see. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll suck. Chanto suenai Kyuketsuki-chan. I am watching this, but I am reserving some whatevers, just because I like the idea of a awkwardness might make this funny. We'll see. Luna Ishikawa is a dark and mysterious vampire. Or so she'd like her new classmates to believe. The truth is, while she may be one of the not-so-mythical bloodsuckers, she doesn't really live up to the hype. She's short and clumsy, and she can't even suck blood properly, so when her classmate Tatsuta Tori discovers her little drinking problem, he can't help but lend a hand. I hope it's like physically like a hand, like just hands her hand or arm or whatever. But can he nurse Luna from the small, timid animal she is into a fearsome creature of the night? I don't know. It doesn't say romance, so I don't know what this is going to be about, but it's whatever. It'll probably be fun. I hope. Chichi wa eiyu, haha wa seirei, musume no watashi wa tensei sha. So dad is AU, so is that eternal? I think so, something like that. An eternal hero to the Yusha part. Haha wa seirei, which is the spirits, and then she is, the daughter is... I am. She can manipulate chemical elements. Okay, Ellen, an 8-year-old girl and half spirit, once lived as a scientist in modern day Japan. Now she's been reincarnated into a new family. Roval, her father and Kingdom's legendary hero, and Origin, her mother and queen of spirits. So, dad got it on with a non-corporeal being. Sick. On top of that, Ellen herself has the power to manipulate chemical elements, but are Ellen's powers enough to protect their family's happiness? Maybe. Chitose-kun wa Raune bin no naka. Being popular isn't easy. It's hard to beat Saku Chitose. The most popular kid in his high school? Check. An ironclad reputation that can weather even vicious online attacks? Check. A group of friends as attractive on the outside as they are on the inside? Check. But when a teacher asks for his help in bringing back a student who has been shut away in his room for months, Saku's perfect world will never be the same. What is this, some kind of normie harem story? Yes? No? I don't know. Debu to dabu to ayamachi to. Yumeko is a quiet, downcast office worker weighed down by crippling insecurities and self-loathing until a sudden accident leaves her with amnesia and a sparkling new personality. Her dramatic transformation baffles everyone around her. With a new zest for life and unshakable confidence, Yumeko is ready to tackle anything: love, work, friendship, and maybe an attempted murder mystery. Which, that, for a second, I was like, oh, okay, interesting. But ultimately, I'm like, I don't know. The amnesia, which then gives you a new personality, and that's the only way everyone's going to like you. And I'm like, whatever. Digimon Beat Break, Glitch the Future. E-Pulse, which is generated by human thoughts and emotions, was used as the energy source for this AI support device, Sapotama. From the shadows of this remarkable development, terrifying monsters appear. Digimon are living beings that evolve by consuming E-Pulse. Tomoro Tenma is drawn into an extraordinary experience after meeting Gekkomon, who suddenly appears from his Sapotama. While living together with Kyo Sawashiro and other members of the bounty hunting team, Golden Dawn, Tomoro renews his resolve. What new future may be forged by humans and Digimon? I don't care. Disney Twisted Wonder... Fuck, do I even have to read this one? The animation, Season 1, episode of Heart's Label. Yuken is whisked away by Night Raven College, an arcane academy of the world of Twisted Wonderland. Stranded until he can find a way home, Yuken is allowed to stay on campus despite having no magic of his own, but when his new friends land him in trouble with the head mage, his future at the school looks bleak. Now Yuken's fate hinges on bringing together a pair of argumentative first years and a fire-breathing monster cat. Sick. Egao no taenai shokuba desu. Futami, a novice shoujo manga artist, is finally publishing her beloved shogi manga, Dear Subaru. But the stress makes her stomach hurt. She's forced to push the deadline for her first chapter, and she isn't making any progress on storyboards. To top it off, she's gaining weight from midnight snacking and starts having wild delusions. Will Futami be able to enjoy life as a manga artist? I don't know. And the weird thing is, I was like, for like slice of life comedy, maybe that'll be fun. Maybe it's but you'll notice this is blank because I'm just like, it kind of left me blank. I just felt like, oh, it's someone who's making manga and she can't do it because it's hard. And then she's also having a hard time. And things are hard. And I'm like, okay, yes. I don't like, I know that it's going to be a slice of life comedy. So obviously it's like, I struggle, but then eventually I'm going to do a thing. And it's like, okay. It's just something about like sometimes I'm cool with like I want to watch the like Zatsutabi was an interesting. I'm a manga artist. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to go on these journeys. I'm going to use that as a means of maybe helping to inspire me. And I like that, right? Zenshu, another mangaka having it hard. Of course, that being a little bit different, but still, kind of the same. Yeah, this I was just like, I don't know. It's clearly cute girls doing cute things because that's all there is apparently, and like that's fine. I it might I don't. It's not me. I don't not feeling it this time, so I go past. Fumetsu no Anatae season 3. I didn't watch the first one or second one, so if you like Fumetsu no Anatae. Story of Fushi the Immortal enters the modern era following the battles in Renreal. Fushi, like a tree, spreads his roots throughout the world, fighting to eliminate the knockers. He awakens in the modern era, peace, free of enemy threats, ominous shadows, enemies that enter in the fissures of the mind. Is this about that weird orb? I don't know. Anyway, move on. Didn't watch it. Gnosia. Story of Gnosia takes place in a ship drifting through space. Gnosia is an enemy that disguises itself as a human and attacks them. It is now on the spaceship, causing everyone on board to be suspicious of each other. The crew decides to vote on the most suspicious-looking person every day and put them into a cold sleep. If the humans succeed in putting Gnosia to sleep, they'll win. On the other hand, if they don't, everyone on board is in danger. The right decision must be made, no matter what decision is made by the main character, Yuri. She finds herself in a time loop that returns to the first day of the crisis. Will the crew on board make the right decision? What is the secret behind the time loop? What secrets hide behind the faces of everyone on board? Gnosia begins now, a story of looping, fleeting moments that feels like an eternity but passes by in an instant. Have a pleasant journey. I don't know. I haven't read this. I don't know anything about it. It is a video game. No shit, it's a video game. I'm going to just say right now that Yuri's the Gnosia. Moving on. Kagaku Boken Survival second season. I did not watch the first season. Yes, I didn't watch it. Kakuryou no Yadomeshi second season. I might have watched this. I don't remember. Second season of Kakuryou no Yadomeshi. Aoi, a girl who can see spirits known as Ayakashi, is suddenly approached by an ogre. Demanding she pay her grandfather's debt, Odana made a huge request, her hand in marriage. Refusing this absurd offer, Aoi decided to work at the Tenjin-ya bed and breakfast to pay back what her family owes. Where we left off, Aoi continues her employment at the Tenjin-ya, where even more Ayakashi drama ensues and challenges await her. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I didn't watch the first half, so I won't be watching that one. Kao ni denai Kashiwara-san to kao ni deru otakun. Kao ni denai Kashiwara-san to kao ni deru otakun. So kao is face. So denai will be can't, and then deru is that you like it's like something to do with the nai is not this, and then deru is this. But I don't know what that is, so. Meet Kashiwara-san, a female middle school student who remains emotionless regardless of how she is meddled with. And Otakun, unable to control his facial expressions, is the complete opposite of Kashiwara-san, but he keeps messing with her against his better judgment. The both of them are the exact opposite. Will a mutual love eventually develop between them? This, I think, had a different synopsis the other day. I don't know. Like comedy, romance, slice of life, I might be here for this. I felt like what this felt like was like, I can't think of a good way to sum it up. It's a school comedy, but we had to bake the premise into the text and into the thing because that's the only thing we could hang it on. And I'm just like, I don't have a lot of confidence in it as a result, but maybe that's not a way to look at it. So anyway. Kekkon Yubi wa Monogatari, second season. If you've watched the first, you might watch the next. Kikaiji Kake no Mari. Oh yeah, I saw a PV of this a little while ago. At last, she's complete. This is Marie, a robot maid. Marie, a former legendary martial artist, now conceals her identity as a human and starts working as a robot in the mansion of Arthur, heir to a conglomerate that despises humans. Her human identity must remain hidden because one slip up and she's dead. Her naturally emotionless demeanor helps her maintain her robot disguise and flawlessly perform her duties, all while struggling to protect Arthur from assassins sent to take his life. She lives each day on the edge with her heart racing because Arthur's head over heels for Marie and her human identity is nearly exposed. A maid pretending to be a robot and a young heir who hates humans but is in love with his robot maid. They missed that part, but we should definitely have that in there. Get ready for a heartwarming comedy that'll make you laugh and cry. What began as a lie between master and maid blossoms into a love neither of them saw coming. Could be fun, I guess. I'm not really... I don't know. It didn't really grab me. Like, I watched the PV and I'm like, okay, I get it. She's not going to... She can't reveal that she's a human, so maybe there'll be lots of opportunities where it's going to be revealed that she's a human. But then reading about the thing about, oh, guys are after this dude's life and like the conglomerate hates humans and like all these other things, I don't know what to make of it. And so I'm just like, it's fine. Kimi to koete koi ni naru. It's, yeah, we needed a different Beastars. Or maybe we needed, so somebody couldn't get the rights to Ogami Tsumiki's Not So Ordinary Days. This is cute. I love the fact that our wolf main boy here is like bright frickin' teal. That's kind of neat. When high schooler Marie bumps into a fellow tardy student, she's surprised to find out he's a beast folk. How do you fucking miss that? How would you be surprised? Who's to attend her school? After all, it's not rare for beast folk to coexist along humans, but it's still uncommon with the prejudice and all. Nervous to meet one at first, Marie soon learns there's more to him than his furry exterior. I would hope. Probably a lot of like tendons and like a lot of weird cabling running beneath the surface in all random directions. In fact, the more she gets to know him, the more she finds herself drawn to him, his steadfastness, his kind-heartedness, and his body. And part of me was like, I kind of want to watch this. I think this might be fun. But then I also felt like, is it just going to be, it's a stand-in for, somebody having a different color of skin or for being from a different place or from having a different religion. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I started to feel weird about that. And I'm like, is that really what I'm interested in that part watching? But then most of these things tend to be that. And I like some of them. And I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm still like kind of on the fence about it. But I think I'll put it on the maybe watching list because I don't really know. She's a cat girl. She gets super mad at her in the PV. I don't know why. I'm assuming because she's interested in Wolfman. This guy, he's there. I don't know why. It's fine. It is what it is. Ooh, Kingdom 6th season, the 6th season. Kingdom 6th season, the 6th season of Kingdom. Let's play Quest Darake no My Life. Samara, Sam Young, is a developer in Los Angeles about to achieve her dreams with her first video game, Ruminate. It's all about cows. That is until a popular streamer gives the game a scathing review. I hate cows. Even worse, Sam finds out the troublesome critic is now her new neighbor. Cow pun here. Nope. Get lost in a comedic, romantic, and all too real story about gaming, memes, and social anxiety. Come for the plot, stay for the doggo. Hey, guess what? If that's your fucking pitch, that's a hard ask. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a little chip again. All right, it takes place in Los Angeles too. Right. I hope that the apartment that they both live in is actually just one of those old Japanese mansion style, like with tatami mats and stuff. But it all takes place in Los Angeles, and I hope that when they go out to eat their hamburgers, eat your hamburgers, Apollo. I hope that's what happens. All right, good cow puns. Here we go. My favorite actually is sounds like these neighbors will have beef. That is my favorite. I'm very happy about that. Good job, Jolly G. Okay. I'm seeing people say here that the webcomic was good. Calculated Uncertainties mentioned the webcomic. Is this the web? Is this what you're referring to, or were you referring to probably referring to this? I have a feeling. Anyway, I don't know. I'm like, this seems like this is always my shit, right? Comedy, romance, slice of life. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally into that. This doesn't feel like, I don't know. And then a lot of this doesn't feel like that either, but whatever. It was on Webtoons. Oh, I see. Then there were issues. All right. Well, moving on. Mikata ga yowa sugite hojo maho ni toshite ita kyute mahoshi. Tsuiho sarete saikyo no Tsuiho sarete saikyo wo mezasu. This party does not need a useless magician who can use only support magic. You're fired, Alec Huguet. I think there was one of these last season, too. Yeah, okay. One day, Alec, a court magician who's been chaperoning the Crown Prince's dungeon crawling party, was suddenly fired and banished from the court by the prince. The only one who reached out to him is Yoruha, his former party member from their Academy of Magic days that split up 4 years ago. Hey, Alec, would you like to come explore dungeons with us again? Thus, the legendary Lasting Period party was revived, and the name will soon become known all over the world once again. Okay, good luck. You have my full support. I don't care. Monster Strike, Deadverse Reloaded. It's a video game. Ninja to Gokudo. The ninja banish evil from the shadows. The Gokudo gather lonely outcasts and commit crimes. The grudge they forged centuries ago is rekindled in the present day. The ninja Shinoha meets Kiwami, a Gokudo with the face of a businessman. Unknowing of the other's identity, they bond over anime, but the war between ninja and Gokudo intensifies. Who will survive and who will perish, ninja or Gokudo? It's an action drama, apparently. I'm not interested. Nohara Hiroshi, Hirumeshi no Ryugi. Hiroshi Nohara, Japan's ultimate family man, is obsessed with lunch in order to work hard in the afternoon. The official spin-off gourmet manga of the popular Crayon Shin-chan. I'm sure this would be very easy to take. I just don't feel... Again, I don't feel drawn to it as a thing, so I'm going to pass this. One Punch Man 3. The third season of One Punch Man. I never watched the second one. Saitama is a hero only... Okay. We know what this is. I didn't continue watching it. I'm just going to... You know if you're going to watch it or not. We're going to move forward. Oshiri Tante 9 Part 2, second part of Oshiri Tante 9. Potion, Wagami no... I keep saying no. Potion, Wagami o Taskeru. Kaede, an ordinary high school girl, suddenly wakes up in an unfamiliar alleyway, only to realize she's been transported to a mysterious world inhabited by beastmen, elves, and dragons. Among her belongings, she discovers a strange book that wasn't there before. To her surprise, it allows her to create potions simply by chanting the word create. Relying on these potions to survive, Kaede navigates the challenges of this fantastical world by clinging to the hope one day to return to Japan. Her journeys of struggle and discovery in this otherworldly realm is just beginning. Oh, dear. Okay, so there was a series called I Shall Survive Using Potions, which had the same art as making 80 million gold in the other world for my retirement or whatever. Seemed to have like the same starring character. This, like, the thing about the other ones is that the story makes them OP, and that's kind of fun because you get to see how they can it's the same author, that's why they have the same art. The fun in those is like they are overpowered, therefore they'll be fun to watch them, like, use their overpowered whatevers for a brief period of time, and we'll see what happens and how things radically change as a result. And that's kind of the fun with those kind of, I have a power and it's isekai, but you get like a unusual power, not like just, I know, like, if you can translate every language, that's also kind of a fun thing too. But anyway, the fact that for this one, they're like, her journey of struggle and discovery in this otherworldly realm is just beginning. It's like, that gives me a bit of the flavor of The Weakest Tamer starts by training slimes, or whatever that was. The little girl that gets thrown out of her village and she has to starts by picking up trash. The Weakest Slime Tamer starts by picking up trash, or whatever it was. And I was like, that was kind of interesting because I like the idea of like from humble beginnings and like only little things that I can do. I slowly learn how to use my power. I learn how to do it on my own. I pick up trash. I find interesting things. Turns out they're useful to me. Like that kind of I'm using what's in my surroundings to get to whatever. And so I want this to be somewhat similar, also like with By the Grace of the Gods, where the kid is like, I'm just going to, other than having some other abilities, I like mostly the slime training part where it's like I learned slimes and then I learned how to do things with slimes. So slimes turn into different slimes and then they become useful for other reasons. I'm like, I'll create a business out of that or some way to survive. And I'm like, that's what I like. The kind of, I have this thing that is a little different ability than a lot of other people have, and I will use this as a means of living a better life or allowing myself to do interesting stuff in this world that has not seen this kind of thing before. I don't know about this because I was like, if it's not going to, it says it's a struggle, but I'm like, if it's not going to be a struggle, then I don't know how to take it. I'll put this as a maybe, and then I'll go through the list again and possibly add it again. We'll see. Ranma 1/2, 2024, second season. Gonna watch to see what happens with this, because why not? Saigo ni hitotsu dake onegai shite. I should just say Ranma 1/2, second season. Okay. Saigo ni hitotsu dake onegai shite mo yoroshii deshou ka? Scarlet has put up with her. Okay. May I please ask for one final thing? That's what you're seeing the translated title as. Scarlet has put up with her fiancé's bullying long enough. Not only is second Prince Kyle arrogant and crude, but he suddenly called out their engagement during a ball, and if things couldn't get any worse, he then accuses her of a crime she never committed. Fueled by betrayal, Scarlet unleashes her rage, giving the prince and his nobles a beatdown they never forget. The manga's fun, for me, up to a point. I hope a lot of other people are enjoying it, and have enjoyed it beyond, like, I'm caught up on it, and I keep reading it, and I keep wishing they'd just finish it. Because it just feels like story creep. But I also feel the same way about Snow White with the red hair. I really like that series, and I would love to just binge the whole story all the way to the end so I would know how it finishes. But I want it to like start working its way towards a finish. If you want to have some fun, I would say download episode 1 of, it's a light novel. Maybe that's why it's like working through it faster or something. Watch the first episode of this. You'll probably have a great time because the first chapter of the manga is a great time. It absolutely is. It felt like it was like when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is a one shot. Oh, it got serialized. Cool. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, they introduced like a bunch of like new countries and a bunch of like traveling to different places. And anyway, that's why I'm not watching it, because I kind of don't care. Sanda. The story starts with Sanda, a second-year middle school student getting attacked with a kitchen knife by his classmate Fuyumura. While Sanda couldn't make sense of the situation at first, he gradually came to believe that Fuyumura's actions were just mean acts stemming off of the latter having a peculiar puberty phase, with a kitchen knife. But that is all misunderstanding. Fuyumura actually suspects that Sanda is a descendant of a certain lineage. Okay, well, it's Science Saru. You might have fun. Like, is this by Itagaki Paru? Really? This is Paru and Saru? Huh. I don't know, though. I don't really... Like, it's a mystery drama. There's a big punch being thrown, but it doesn't say action. I don't know. It doesn't really grab me. So what will happen is we'll come back to this, I'm sure, later, and then you will all tell me it's like, no, this was amazing. So, you should go watch this. And then maybe I will. So, Sawaranai de Kotesashi-kun. Holy fuck, I watched the PV for this, and I was like, yeah. Kotesashi Koyo possesses outstanding skills in masseur. He aspires to become a sports doctor and wants to get a scholarship in medical school. Starting spring, he attends the high school attached to Seiwa University, a sports powerhouse. These girls are all in university. They are all they have all graduated high school, and they are all extra years into university, and he is in a high school. Since his family was not wealthy, he has to work as a hostel manager where he is allowed to stay to pay for his school expenses. There he encounters high school girl athletes with various problems, for you see, Seiwa University must be a predominantly or maybe totally lady-attended university. I have no... Where is he in this picture? Elemental Haven, he's where you're sitting right now. That's where he is. He is looking at all 5 of these women. He is not fucking important. You know how I know that? Because when I watch the PV, I don't even think they ever show his eyes. There he encounters high school girl athletes with various problems. Kotasashi's job is to take care of them physically and mentally and be the hostile manager. Also, these girls are quite hostile themselves. But this one is super tall and looks incredibly strong, like she could break you in half. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm here for her. She's probably going to be the main girl because she's, pinching her breasts together. This one, I remember her from, what is it? Yankee JK Kusuhana-chan, which I'm still reading, which I don't know why, except I guess it's for titties. Yeah, so there's this. So I like her. She's best girl. I don't know anything about her. I watched the PV. Man, is there a lot of censorship in that PV. You should watch the promo video. Absolutely. Does one of them have a second set of ears? No, they can't do that because they have to, if they're going to show you one set of ears, they have to cover up the second set of ears so you don't think they actually have 2 sets of ears. That's how horse girls work. All right, moving on. Hey, you'll notice that is just completely fucking empty. Shabake. The time is Edo. Ichitaro, the young master of Nagasakiya, one of the largest stores in Nihonbashi, has been in poor health since birth and is unable to go outside. Ichitaro is always protected by spirits such as Shirasawa and Inugami who serve him. One night, Ichitaro sneaks out when no one is looking and witnesses a murder. From that day on, bizarre murders began to occur one after the other in Edo, with the help of the spirits. The search for Ichitaro's culprit begins. Sorry, I bumped the microphone. That was not cool of me. Oh, fantasy mystery. I don't really like... I like a good mystery. I like the fantasy mystery thing. That could be fun. Shabake is apparently adapted from a novel series that started in about 2001. Neat. So is a novel. I don't know. I usually when I see something being a novel versus a light novel, I'm like, oh yeah, novels are probably a lot harder to get published than light novels. Or maybe that's not true. What do I know? Interesting premise, I think, but it didn't quite grab me enough to be interesting enough to watch it, so I don't think I will. We'll move on. Yes. Great. No, I don't know anything about this. It's just the title. Shinjite ta nakamatachi ni dungeon okuchi de korosare kakita ga gift mugen gacha de level 9,999 no nakamatachi wo te ni irete moto party member to sekai ni fukushu and zama shimasu. They needed the entire front of the light novel cover to write that. When Light is kicked out of the Concord of the Tribes, his former comrades instantly turn on him. Just, fuck, kitchen knives! Light escapes this diabolical act of betrayal by the skin of his teeth, only to find himself in the deepest part of the abyss. The most dangerous dungeon in the realm. To avoid being eaten by carnivorous monsters, he uses the Unlimited Gotcha, his sole magical skill. Where it previously only produced junk items, this time May, a gorgeous 9,999 fighter level in the maid outfit, springs forth. Fast forward 3 years and Light is fucking her. They're married? Oh, he's carved out his own kingdom in this backwater dungeon, summoning more beautiful level 9,999 warriors who swear absolute fealty to him. Fuck. Now a powerful level 9,999 overlord himself, Light plans to ascend to the surface and take revenge on his betrayers one by one. Good for you, Light! It's a story of heroism. Shumatsu Touring. Sponsored by whoever makes the Sero. Is it Suzuki? 2 young girls, Yoko and Ayuri, travel through an empty post-apocalyptic world. They photograph the scenery of famous places all to themselves and camp out in towns full of nature. The 2 of them ride and travel on a Sero off-road motorbike together, experiencing a never-before-felt freedom and travel with no traffic and no traffic lights. With the Sero bike, they embark on a journey around a now-destroyed Japan. A unique story about touring on a bike comes to life as an anime series. The world's over now, so let's hop on a bike and go on a journey. It's Yamaha that makes the Sero. Thank you, Lurker Spine. Yeah, it whenever these post-apocalyptic like fun, relaxing touring things come up, um, I always feel like I don't know how to take them because it's like it's like what if we could have a camping adventure where everything was free? There might be sufficient amounts of um, there might be sufficient amounts of like food and fuel and like everything you need to kind of survive. And so let's just take a motorbike and we're friends and we'll go around looking at stuff and there's no humans left because that's what post-apocalyptic to me. It's like, well, all the scenery's intact, a lot of the infrastructure is attacked. Like, look at this. There's a railway a railing there, so some of the scenery is like there's railings, and therefore there probably still that stuff sits around. There's a capybara, so that must mean that that works. And then plus, if there's we have this bike, and we're gonna have like gas cans, and we'll have to have places to get gas because you can't just like drive out to the middle of nowhere and then have to like come back. I don't know. I don't know how to take it. I think it's everything about the premise says you might like this, but also it's like you're going to have to contend with the ideas of what it means to be in a post-apocalyptic world and what, like, are we going to care about that or not? And if we are going to care about that, I'm worried because I don't want to spend time thinking about it, or we're not going to care about it at all, and I'm going to be like, but why like this, and why are you the only two left, or are you the only two left, or as Decapit says, is it aliens, robots, or cryogenically frozen humans? Oh, wait, what if these are either aliens, robots, or cryogenically frozen humans? I like that idea better. What if they're like that? That could be interesting. Okay, you know what? I'm going to upgrade this to a maybe just to have a test of it. Sci-Viz, the sound of heroes. Maybe She-Viz? Yeah, okay. She-Vizu. Visu. She-Visu. Visu. She-Visu. She-Visu? Visu? Okay. She-Vitsu is a co-ed music group led by Yosuke, shaking up the global music scene with their unmatched vocals and performances. They are actually heroes in disguise, however, battling against a mysterious force threatening to destroy the world. They gather energy through live performances and convert audience energy into combat power. The battles appear to be ordinary concerts to the public, so their identity remains a secret. Execution's going to matter a lot on that. That's an interesting idea. I'm not really drawn to it, though. Well, we did it, folks. We got here. More Spy Family, Season 3. There is nothing new in the description. I'm just looking forward for us to be able to watch more. When we were in Japan, I'll tell you this is interesting. When we were in Japan, walking around, like, most department stores in at least the major centers we were going to, like you go to a Parco or you go to a Daimoto or whatever, those kind of department stores are just like floor upon floor upon floor upon floor. They will have a floor that is nerd shit. That's just the easiest thing to do. They're just like, go to floor 5 or floor 9 or whatever it is. It's all your nerd shit. The Nintendo store is there, or the Pokemon Center is there, or the Bandai Namco this, or the One Piece store, or the Crayon Shinchan store, or the Godzilla store, or like, basically the Shonen Jump has its own store, and then like all those kind of things. And as we went around to all these different places, we ended up in one place that had like a store that was for whatever magazine Spy Family runs in. Is it Jump? I think it's Jump. And we walked around looking at everything and found like 10 things for Spy Family in a tiny little section. And I was like, how is this what I'm assuming to be one of the most popular things? How is this all of the Spy Family merch that we're finding at this store? And of course, it's because there's no room for most of it. I'm sure because you have to fit all the One Piece shit and all of the Demon Slayer and all of the like other things that are in Shonen Jump into that store as well. So Spy Family, but it was only in one store in one place. How much do they have for free run? Almost nothing. Maybe keychains. Mostly, what you will find is acrylic standees. That was the most disappointing part about our trip, is that it was like the most unusual thing was go to an animate and you're like, I'm gonna find lots of anime stuff. It's like, you will. I hope you like Hoyoverse stuff. I hope you like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero. I hope you like that. I hope you like Project Diva. Is that what it is? Or is it, no? It's Project Mirai. Whatever the thing is that has Hatsune Miku as a guest star, but not one of the main characters. I hope you like all of that kind of shit. I hope you like your heavy gotcha stuff, because there are aisles full of that in Animate and stuff. We went into an Animate. I found 4 things for the Apothecary Diaries. We had to look up and down every aisle to find anything that had to do with like the shows that we liked. Freerun had like about like 5 or 6 little things. I found 2 fans, and I found, I think, the hairpin, and I think like an acrylic something or other. And or maybe it was a teacup. I can't remember what all the things was, but it's like there's 2, like the 2 fans. There's one that was like all one that was all Mamao's colors, and one that was all Jinshi's colors, which were very cute. They were expensive, but they were very cute, which is probably why they were still there. And so this is April, and I have no idea how like the turnover of merchandise works in all of these stores, but it was very odd to see just a whole bunch of merchandise for stuff that we don't really do over here as much as, but also that feels like it's also available everywhere. Like you should, like Genshin Impact stuff, it just kind of feels like you'll be able to find that wherever you go. Where we found a larger variety of like things was when we went to the Bandai Namco Cross store when we were in Ikebukuro, because we were going to a Pokemon Center, and then we found out they had this one store there, and they have a massive gacha section, but they also had like dedicated centers for like, they had a Gundam dedicated center that had like a sub center for like older giant robot shows that were built into that in and around there as well. And they had like a whole JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing going on. And it's like, that's the most JoJo we saw of anywhere. It was like a special event, and they had an entire section of the store and like a big section of the store, like as big as, it seemed like as big as a normal like clothing store you would walk into, just like a normal like small clothing store in a mall. As big as that was just like a bunch of JoJo themed whatevers, not stuff, merchandise, but just like a themed place to be that also had some merchandise in it. Very odd. So yeah, for what I assume to be like a really big frickin' deal, the merchandise did not support that. But you know, One Piece makes all that money, so whatever. Moving on. I'm super happy to watch that. Taiyo yori mo mabushi hoshi. Sai Iwata, a slightly tougher than average girl, falls for the gentle smell of Koki Kamishiro, a delicate boy back in elementary school. By the time they enter junior high school, Koki has grown into a charming and popular teen who now feels out of reach. When they are assigned to the sports festival committee together, Sai's long-hidden first love begins to stir once more. Straight up romance. It's a cute PV. You get, even if you don't watch it with like a subtitle or whatever, I think it's a cute PV, and I'm like, this will be fine. This will be interesting. All right, moving on. Tensei Akujo no Kuro Rekishi. Konoha Saito's dark fictional past becomes a reality when she's reincarnated as Iana Magnolia, the villainess of her own adolescent fantasy. Now as a role she meticulously designed to be despicable, remembering every last detail is a matter of life and death. Will she be able to rewrite her character's fate into something peaceful? This is a cool idea. I don't want to watch it, but I think it's a cool idea that it's like, you invented this whole world that you probably wanted to be like the hero, like the girl that gets picked up by, and then you invented this terrible woman to be the one that will hurt you. but you probably did that like as adolescent, so it's like I have no idea how many years will have passed in this point. But I love this idea of, oh my god, I have to try to remember all the stuff I wrote down in those books back when I was in middle school or whenever I did this, and try to remember, it's like, what was the idea, what were the things that I said I was going to do, which then means that you don't have to rely upon having to be like, oh, but the character knows everything about the game they're in because they played it 1,000 times. This is like having to confront your own fantasy stuff and trying to understand. It's like, when did I do this? Why did I do that? Why would I have thought that back when I was a kid? I don't remember what happens next. Oh shit, that's right. That is what happens next. Oh no. Like that kind of feels like that'll be a fun idea. Again, though, not enough to pull me into it, but I think it's a neat idea. Tomodachi no imoto ga ore ni dake uzai. If a girl teases you, that means she likes you. Unfortunately, Akiteru knows from experience that isn't the case. Great, because every girl he interacts with shows him nothing but scorn, and he's not scored a single date from it. I guess analyze your behavior? Maybe you might be the problem? I don't know. Luckily, he's more concerned with securing a spot for him and his game development buddies at his uncle's business. Oh, maybe you are the problem. But when his uncle throws him a condition that involves playing the part of his daughter's boyfriend, Akiteru has no choice but to take it. What will his best friend's sister Iroha, who bullies him relentlessly, think of the news? Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, that puts it up pretty front and center that I guess the best friend's sister probably likes him, except that we know that from experience that isn't the case, that if a girl teases you, she likes you, because they all show him scorn and he can't get a date because he's actually tried to get a date. Anyway. Tondemo skill de Isekai Horo Meshi 2. Campfire cooking with the cheat skill. Well, I don't know what it's called. I just know this is actually fun. Because Feru is so fun. I mean, and then Sui is fun too. And I think that's Sui right down there. And we're going to meet Dora, apparently. That'll be fun. Second season of Tondemo skill de Isekai Horo Meshi. When Magical Realm, this, it doesn't matter. He has an online grocery power, and he likes to cook for his friends, who then they had to sign like a contract. And that they do that so that he'll continue to cook for them forever and ever. And it's fun. It's goofy. Because it's not him who's overpowered. Like, he learns how to do some magic and stuff, but it's the other characters who are like battle fanatics, and they get powerful and stuff. And that's what makes it fun. So, moving on. Tojima Tanzaburo wa Kamen Rider ni naritai. The story of Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider follows Tanzaburo Tojima, a 40-year-old man who is abnormally obsessed with the Kamen Rider franchise. Tojima is about to give up his dream of becoming a hero until a chance encounter with a robber changes his fate forever. I think this was a different write-up when I saw it last. Okay. I'm not nostalgic for Kamen Rider, so I mean, this could be a way for me to get into it, but yeah, didn't really grab me. Toa no Yugure. When growing tensions around AI spark civil unrest, Akira is caught in the crossfire when he protects his girlfriend from an assassin's bullet. This is going to be one of those, like, the dodgeball of Apollo things. Hundreds of years later, he awakens from cryogenic sleep to an unfamiliar world. Oh, it's Breath of the Wild. As he struggles to come to terms with his new reality, he bonds with an android called Yugure, who bears an uncanny resemblance to his girlfriend. Now he must ask himself what love means in a world where technology has changed the very fabric of society. Note, includes prologue. So be careful. This includes a prologue. PA Works. You always do some quality stuff. I'm not interested in that, though. It was like Atri. When I watched Atri, and I was like, every time I watch Atri, every episode has a piece of this world that I'm interested in, and then the rest of the episode is shit I'm not interested in. And I'm like, I'm watching this for slivers of information that are interesting about the place that they are. This feels like this will be the same thing. Oh, this is an interesting bit of world building. Ah, fuck, 20 minutes of this? Okay, well, whatever. Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey Part 2. Oh, they just had the logo here before, so this looks terrifying. This is Oguri Cap. I guess that she's a big eater. I can't remember the shorthand. Is it the right ear? If you have the decoration on your right ear, you're a mare, and if it's on the left ear, you're actually a stallion in real life. I can't remember what the breakdown is. Because I know one of them has both because she's intersex. Right ear is stallion. Okay, cool. All right. Wandance. Kabuku Kotani is starting high school and he plans to do what he's always done, go along with his friends, like standing like this. Keep quiet, not draw too much attention to himself. After all, it's hard enough to get by with a stutter like his. Oh, okay. Why make things worse by standing out from the crowd? But then he sees another first year, Hikari Wanda, I guess, there, dancing like no one is watching or like she doesn't care who sees her. It makes Kabuku wonder, could he reach that same freedom? To find his way to Wanda, he does something he never thought he could. He joins the dance club. After all, every routine begins with a single step, right? Join Kabuku and Wanda as they freestyle their way to life and love. All right, cool, fun, little sports drama. No romance tags, so I guess they want to concentrate more on b-boying and, you'll learn to do this and then you'll go to the Olympics and maybe these two will kiss, but they're not supposed to, so it's fine. If it's only on Disney Plus and Hulu and TikTok, apparently, doesn't mean you can't watch it. Anyway, Watashi o tabetai hito denashi. This surprised the shit out of me. So we're talking, drama, horror, psychological, romance, supernatural, Yuri. This is being published on the Dynasty Scans manga site, if I remember correctly. I was reading this for a bit because I didn't know what was going on with it. And then I dropped it because I'm like, I don't like the horror overtones, so I think I'm not going to be interested in where it goes. But I'm interested in the idea that they're actually doing this. I have come to eat you, so softly utters the mermaid Shiori as she emerges from the sea and takes high school girl Hinako by the hand. Hinako lives alone in a town by the sea and possesses an unusually delicious body that is irresistible to nearby monsters. To ensure that she matures to the best conditions, Shiori seeks to protect Hinako, also that someday she can devour a piece of her. What will become of Hinako's feelings as this looming unjust death closes in on her? But also, yeah, this monster wants to eat me. Also, Hinako... it feels very conflicted because she also doesn't think that anybody likes her, I think. And then she's like, oh, well, then maybe it'll be fine if this mermaid just eats me. So there's kind of that deep, like, I could just die and that'll be fine, I think is like in the first chapter. But then over time, it's like, oh, you realize that it's like she's starting to think more about what it means to live. And I don't know what any of this is going to turn into, but yeah. Yano-kun no Futsu no Hibi. Kyoko Yoshida is an over-anxious class representative who can't help but worry about Tsuyoshi Yano, who sits beside her. Tsuyoshi comes to school covered in bruises, and as Kyoko tends to him day after day, the two draw closer. Where will Kyoko's feelings take her? Will Tsuyoshi's life ever be normal? A romantic comedy between an anxious girl and a boy who is always injured is about to begin. This is good, because there could be multiple reasons why he shows up injured. Maybe he's just clumsy, and that's fine. If it was many other reasons, this probably wouldn't be attached. So I'm going to give this a watch because it seems pretty straightforward as a premise. Oh, Hinako's an orphan in this. Ah, yeah. I think, yeah, that has a major piece of it too. Okay. Cho Futsu Maho Shoujo Asumi Toruverse. It's the 5th season of the Cho Futsu series, Super Normal series. Wait, Super Normal Step? Is that what this is? No, I don't think it is. Ganglion. Set in the early 2000s, the story of Ganglion follows the everyday adventures of Kenji Isobe, a professional henchman for the Ganglion Corporation, which plots world domination with evil schemes such as Operation Tokyo Cedar Pollen and Operation Mount Fuji Detonation. Kenji's workplace is a battlefield where every day he has to deal with workplace drama, unreasonable bosses, and crushing defeat at the hands of the hero Hope Man. Definitely one of these, would draw all the adults kind of weirdly ugly, so that I guess when you put them in behind their outfits, there's no tags. This show features nothing. It is about nothing. Nobody knows anything about it. Heika watashi o wasurete kudasai. Marrying a cursed marquis changes her destiny. Wait, didn't we cover this in the previous one? A suburban romance of misunderstandings. I wanted to help you even if you didn't love me. Lunia, the daughter of the Count of Persephone, was shunned by her father and treated like a tool by her half-brother leading a lonely life. Meanwhile, she is chosen by a priest to be engaged to Hades, the head of the Duke of Cronoa family, and decides to marry into the cursed Duke family. The Duke of Cronoa, feared as the king of the underworld, is cursed with a short lifespan as he does not marry a bride chosen by the emperor. However, Hades tells Lunia that he has no intention of loving her. I exist only to break the curse. In order to keep Hades alive, Lunia deceived him and spent the night with him, then disappeared without realizing she was pregnant with his child. 7 years later, Hades somehow managed to find Lunia and try to take her back with the child. So, a bunch of Greek god names installed over top of something. Anime! Hyakusho Kizoku, 3rd season. I am watching all of this. This is very hard to come by because it is so... I wish this would get like just a full... Like I wish it would just be like, it's like a full season or like 30 minutes long or like, and I know they're not that. I know that Noble Farmer or the Peasant Farmer or whatever you want to refer to it as. I know they're shorts to begin with anyway. But I'm just so enamored of her stories and the kind of ridiculous stuff that happens. It's why it's like Silver Spoon was so fun, and it kind of would be great if we got a 3rd season of Silver Spoon, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th season of Silver Spoon. It's like, I'd love to have more of that to really like get through the entire story as an anime, because I think that the execution on the first 2 seasons was really, really good. I read the whole manga. It's great. I like it a lot. So I'm into that. And I can't remember the mangaka's name, and I'm very sorry. It starts with an A as far as I'm concerned. I could start guessing, but that's a bad idea. We're just going to end up in a bad situation. Isekai Quartet 3. Look at that. All of these people were brought from another world, and they all kiss each other. Jochum Season 2. Yes. Music Tiger in the Forest 2. All right. Shibuya Hachi Part 4. So I guess that's supposed to be Hachiko maybe or something? Whatever. Sylvanian Families, Freya No Wonder Days. Okay. Uso Tante Tomanto, Lying Detective Tomanto, I guess. Yep, Futari Soul Camp, Arakawa. Thank you, folks. Arakawa Sensei is the one who does Full Metal Alchemist and Silver Spoon and The Noble Farmer. Gachiakta continues. If I'm guessing you like it, then you get more of it. Tolgen Anki, again, more of that for people who like that. And we're into the movies already. This is a reasonably fast episode. Aikatsu and Prepara, the movie. Dei no Kiseki. I don't watch Prepara, and I don't really know anything about Aikatsu anyway. So, Girls Band Cry, Na Mirai. It's the second of Girls Band Cry getting a movie duology. Maybe the first one's down here. There's the first one. Seishun Kyoso Kyoku. Moving on. Hate Shinaki Scarlet. Scarlet, the protagonist of this work, is a princess whose father, king of a certain country, was murdered. However, after failing to exact revenge, Scarlet wakes up to find herself in the land of the dead. In the land of the dead. Filled with madness, it is said that if one does not exact revenge on their nemesis and reach the endless place, they will become nothingness and disappear from existence. Will Scarlet be able to exact revenge on her nemesis without becoming nothingness? The story unfolds as the endless journey for revenge begins. It's a movie. It's going to air. And, I mean, it's like a sailor uniform, but... let's move on. Hosenka. What a pathetic life it's been. Great start. An elderly inmate serving a life sentence awaits a lonely death in his solitary cell. You know, butterflies. Until a voice calls out to him. It belongs to a balsam flower, Hosenka, that speaks like a human. Through their conversation, the old man begins to reflect on the life he's led. It's by Clap. We love Clap. Clap has like long limbs. And they do like, they did X Japan. No, wait, that's a band. Anyway, Kimi to Idol Precure Omatase Kimi ni Todokeru Kiraki Live. It's a movie of that. Love Live Nijigasaki Gakuen School Idol Do Ko Kae Kanketsuhen 2. Second in the trilogy of the films that continues the Peleliu. Actually, it's Periryu. Rakuen no Guernica. Anime adaptation of Kazuyoshi Takeda's Periryu Rakuen no Guernica manga. The story follows the daily lives of Japanese soldiers taking part of the Battle of Periryu during World War II, a high-casualty, months-long campaign. The main character, Tamaru, dreams of returning home to become a mangaka and sees their island outpost as a wild paradise that can one day be used as a setting for one of his stories. Most of his comrades, however, prepare for a more realistic scenario that they will not be leaving Peridu alive. Movie. Sumiko Gurashi, Sora no o koku to futari no ko. Fourth of that movie. Toritsukare Otoko. This looks very like, it's in France or somewhere. It's European. Look at our designs. The story centers on a young man named Giuseppe, who is called Toritsukare Otoko. You know, normal Japanese phrase by the townspeople, because once he gets absorbed in something, he cannot look at anything else. One day he falls in love at first sight with a girl selling balloons named Pechka. He goes crazy and tries to get close to Pechka. Kitchen knives, kitchen knives! But she has a sadness in her heart, and he can't get it out with a kitchen knife. For the sake of his beloved Pechka, Giuseppe and his partner, the mouse Cielo, secretly solve her worries by using the many tricks he has been obsessed with. All right. I had a lot of like stuff building up. Oh, Clap did Odd Taxi? Cool. Zombieland Saga, Yume Ginga Paradise. Anime movie announced during live concert. Zombieland Saga Live Front, Chocho Saga no Tomoni Wate Kure. Held on OVAs, Cat's Eye. This is cautious, all right? A new adaptation of the manga of the same name by Tsukasa Hojo. Cat's Eye is a secretive trio of art thieves relentlessly pursued by Detective Toshio. Unbeknownst to him, the middle sister of the elusive thieves is none other than his girlfriend, Hitomi. The more classic design, the fact that they had a Lupin the Third Cat's Eye movie feels like that was like a soft launch. The fact that they were like, we're going to do this because the Lupin the Third Cat's Eye movie happened, the crossover, and it was like, oh, that's fun. And so here is this. And episode 1 has already come out apparently. So they are very tight leotards. Absolutely they are. I want to watch a few to see if it's like, obviously it feels like if they're adapting it from the manga, then it's like, oh, we're just going to make it again. Cat's Eye already exists. I think they made it back in the late 80s, early 90s or something like that. So you could watch the original if you wanted to. It was fun watching the Lupin the Third Cat's Eye movie because it was my introduction to what these three women are all about, getting a sense of like what goes on in their world. And I think that was the point, is to be like, you don't know what Cat's Eye is, perhaps, but you've been watching enough Lupin that even if you're like not familiar with this, we'll fill you in so you get an understanding of who they all are and what they're up to. And I'm like, okay, that's great. So now I want to watch a bit of the show to feel like, is this something that I actually want to watch like, you know, week to week? Or is this more like, oh, this was an interesting thing and now I understand it, now I can put it aside? Who knows? Like kind of a does it stand up? Fujimoto Tatsuki, 17 to 26. An anthology series adapting 8 short stories by manga artist Tatsuki Fujimoto between ages 17 and 26. Oh, that's what that means. Cool. A couple clucking chickens were still kicking in the schoolyard. Sasaki stopped a bullet. Love is blind. Shikaku. Mermaid Rhapsody. Woke up as a girl syndrome. Nayuta of the Prophecy. Sisters. All right. There you go. Golden Kamui Inazumagoto to Mamushi no Ogin Shimainaga. An OVA that adapts this chapter. I gave up on Golden Kamui because I got to the hotel that murders all adventurers, and I was just like, no, I've done a lot of weird gore in this story already. I think I'm done. Koala Eniki. The manga is about Koala, who writes about daily life, whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. It's good or bad, or happy or sad. Koala treats every day as a precious day. Koala believes that today is a good day and tomorrow will be a good day too. That's good. Good for Koala. Musho no eiyu, betsu ni skill nanka ira nakatandaga. In a world where one's class determines everything, Adel, the son of a sword princess and archmage, was expected to inherit greatness, but when he discovers he's classless, everything changes. Now he's determined to prove that hard work and dedication are enough to not just succeed, but to excel as an adventurer. Hey, that's great. That's awesome. So you're going to like throw away all your shit, start from zero. You're going to like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Is that the idea here? You're probably going to get some help from somebody to kind of get rolling. and that's okay too. You can do that. But, don't fool yourself. Moving on. Nageki no Bore wa Intai Shitai 2. Second half of the thing I just said. Cries adventures are reluctantly to return with more chaos ahead. Sozai Saishika no Isekai Ryokoki. Kamishiro Takeru was just an ordinary guy with an ordinary office job until he's suddenly summoned to Medea's house? A world with swords and magic. Life as he knew it is over, but he's starting his new one with powerful abilities, enhanced strength, overwhelming magic, and a search skill that allows him to find valuable items. Armed with the new cheat skills, Takeru begins the simplest fucking thing you could possibly live. So, fun manga, great dragon friend. Okay, sure. I'm having a lot of trouble with this person's outfit because what I'm seeing is like what I think is the belly button where the midriff is, and then there's this, and I'm like, surely that's not what I must be seeing something else. I'm seeing something else. That must be what I'm seeing is abs, and I don't know what it's fine. Please enjoy the show about this isekai. Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Okay. The critically acclaimed series of anime shorts return to Japan for a third installment collaboration with Anime Studios. The Duel Payback, The Lost Ones, Ninth Jedi Child of Hope, Yuko's Treasure, The Smuggler, Bounty Hunters, Song of Four Wings, Bird of Paradise, Black. These are all the studios involved. Maybe they'll do one you like. I don't know. I tried watching Visions years ago. It never clicked for me. I know that they're different every time, obviously, but it was just like, didn't click for me. I guess it's just like falling off of an awful lot of like Andor season 2 came out, and I'm not even interested in returning to that. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll be 70 and I'll need things to watch and I'll be able to just go back and look at those things then. Who knows? Ugoku Neko Mukashi Banashi. The cute comedy manga and anime takes children's stories and folktales from all around the world and asks, what if a cat appeared in this story? You make a good point. Yes. Undead Unluck Winter Hen. 1 hour special depths, the winter arc. Okay, you'd have to be watching the thing, I guess. Yase no last boss ga awareta. Wow, that was not even a word. Arawareta. Yasai no last boss ga arawareta. Wow. Arawareta. An MMO gamer awakens as the Black-Winged Tyrant, Lufus Mafal, rising from her sealed fate, only to find this is very real. Her defeat 200 years ago unleashed monsters of death, and the legend is one of terror. Now trapped in the body of history's most feared conqueror, he must survive a world that wants her dead and uncover why he's here. Okay. Wow world. Wow. Arawareta. Ooh, I think I nailed it that time. God, I watched somebody did a. It doesn't matter. They did a stand-in. They used a piece of audio from one of the Fullmetal Alchemist shorts where they're doing Jugemu, but it's like Scar versus somebody else, Wrath, but it's a comedy short. And they're introducing each other. Like, there's like, oh, what's your name? My name is Jugama, the whole thing. Pipo, shooting on, whatever. So they keep handing it back and forth, attacking each other. Like, they keep saying, oh, stand still, Jugama, and say the whole name until the very end. But they get faster with it as it goes. And I love it as I'm sure as a vocal technique to practice hearing it go faster and faster. I'm like, that is definitely the kind of thing where, yeah, doing the vocals and getting faster and faster at it is probably a really fun thing about, like, I can practice this, I can memorize this, and then get to a point where I can go and then it turns into showdowns. Like, how fast can you say the entire thing? Is it understandable? But also, is it also like, uh, uh, can you get it all out without missing a beat? Because that's the other thing too, is that if you go pipo pipo shunning should, like, you're like, no, it's pipo pipo pipo. You got 3 pipos in there. Don't forget that. I'm mostly just spinning my wheels now because that is the end of the thing. So a few things in here that clearly I said I will probably go back and maybe watch that I might have added on to the thing. I might even go through here again and just be like, well, I did say that I thought it was an interesting premise, and now that I'm taking a second look at it, it's a good thing that I go through it once, and then after I read it a second time, that I'm like, actually, you know what? That maybe there is something in that might be interesting. That maybe I should decide to watch this thing. And sometimes you get in a mood and you're like, man, I don't want to watch that. But like this one here, right? Tensei Akujo no Kuro Rekishi, where she's like, oh, it's my own fantasy, but I'm the villainess of it now. Oh, shit. And I'm like, maybe that will be interesting, and maybe I should mark it as something that I'm going to watch. But I mean, there's a lot of check marks on this list already. This thing that I didn't think I was going to watch, and maybe I will end up watching an episode or two to see what it's like. And now I'm thinking Shabake, because it's like, oh, it's based on a novel, and if that's been out for a while, maybe it was like, this is the time to do something about it. And maybe I want to look at titties. And anyway, and then Sanda. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. Yeah, we just scrolled past that, didn't we? It is what it is, and everyone enjoy. Obviously, Spy Family is like the big one for me, the thing that I'm really looking forward to watching more of this season. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching stuff too. We are done, and I am going to just wrap it up here. So everyone should take care of themselves. This is Beej's Anime Roundup. This was like the autumn 2025 season. Just what's about to come up. So do get in watching some stuff. Don't forget to cancel a whole bunch of your streaming services that you don't want to watch because, F those guys. But, if you have other ways to watch stuff, perhaps, then you can find other ways to watch things. And maybe you don't have to watch everything if you're going to give up the streaming services, and that's fine too. But do take that money and point it at us. Patreon.com/loadingreadyrun is a great way to support the things that we do here, including this show that happens every 3 months that I do this, but there's lots of other streams that go on the channels, and you can see all those on Twitch through subs and bits as a way to support us there. But all of our streaming happens on Twitch, and then there's YouTube, and you can become a YouTube member on any of our channels at this point, I think. So if you want to support us via YouTube, that's the way to do that as well. Yeah, these are the methods, obviously, and the store@loadingreadyrun.com. It has the things it has on it. I'm going to get more restocks as time goes on. I'm trying to handle other things, and I apparently only have so much brain. It's like, you have a lot of hours in a day. It's like, yeah, but apparently I have less brain than hours, which is a really weird feeling. That's like, remember when you had so many hours and you had the kind of brain that could work in those hours? And like, yeah, I do. What about now? It's like, less brain than I used to have. And that's such a weird feeling as you get older. So kids, look forward to that. I work hard, and then sometimes I don't. So, but I appreciate that you appreciate when I do work hard, and I will try to keep shit together a little more for you. That's it for the show, though. We thank the things when we're done with the whatever. Stick around. Not after this. It's fine. Let's just say we're done. I'm done. Love you all. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay inside if you don't have those vaccines, but get the vaccines. Believe in vaccines. They're very important. And I will talk to you all next time.